Welcome, everybody, to another rendition of Delete Laws. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Everybody, do me a favor and hit the like button. Hit the like button. It'll just take you a second. It's that little thumbs up thing down there at the bottom. Just grab a hold of that bad chicken and hit it. Pop, pop, pop. Hit the like button. And then if you would, please put into the comment section OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put it in the comment section real quick for you. Now, if you guys, I very rarely ask anybody to ever sign a petition. I never do that. It's just not, because when you sign a petition, you end up getting a bunch of emails, and so I'm taking a look here to see what we got going on. Everybody hit the like button. And so I will very rarely ask you guys to sign a petition. I just think it's, but on this particular case right here, check the comment section. I'm dropping right now a link. I'm going to put it on the StreamYard and I'm going to put it on the YouTubes right there. There's the link. If you would, pretty please, with cherries and sugar on top. We've seen this video before. You've seen it before. You've seen it before. We don't stop. Put it in the comment section. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't. And this guy's in jail right now. And he's got to get out.
In May of 2023, Sergeant Michael Kunovich of the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office pulls up on Virgilio Aguilar Mendez, an undocumented migrant worker from Guatemala trying to support his family back home by working in Florida's agricultural industry. What happens next has garnered international attention and calls for justice.
422 St. John's. 1012, single 13P, Hispanic male, white t-shirt, black shorts, Super 8 16, 3576, you be 54 on me. Stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, why, when I was driving around, stop.
18.
Okay, but why did you get up and walk away?
Huh?
When you saw me, you got up and walked away. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
But you meet me here, you go for drinking.
Where are you staying?
Huh?
Where are you staying? Sleeping?
You say,
Here?
yes.
Well, why aren't you eating inside?
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry.
Okay, I've got some comment.
It's obvious that Mendez doesn't understand what Kunovich is saying and is.
But more than that, and this is where Rick and so many people just don't quite get it. They just don't get it. You guys know I love Rick over at YTY. He's a little too far to the left for me, but I still like him. I like his channel. I feature his channel. I not like I dislike the guy. And he's the one hosting this particular video. I can't find the raw body cam footage. I was looking for it everywhere. So, but here's the real problem. Let me show you the real problem in our country. Let me show you where it is. Here's the real problem.
Florida's agricultural industry.
So this guy's a migrant worker. He's at a hotel. He's sitting outside of his hotel. He's eating his dinner, probably beans in a can and a can of tuna fish. And a cop drives by. He sees the cop. He gets up and walks away. That's the story so far. And from the story I just told you, this is the problem right here.
What happens next has garnered international attention and calls for justice.
422 St. John's. 1012, single 13P, Hispanic male, white t-shirt.
So he walks up and starts talking into his radio and describing the person in front of him without greeting him or having any sort of salutation or any sort of interaction with him. Just starts saying, I got a Mexican here, Latino in a white shirt. Just starts describing his physical features, and he's talking into his radio. So the migrant worker realizes that he's not talking to him, so he just keeps looking at his phone.
Black shorts, Super 8 16, 3576, you be 54 on me. Stop.
So now the first thing he says to him is stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, why, when I was driving around, stop.
18.
Okay, but why did you get up and walk away?
There it is right there. There's the problem in America. There's the problem in America. that one guy can walk up to someone in our country who's a free American citizen here. He's not even a citizen, but this is land of the free, home of the brave. Your rights are not dependent that were written into a constitution and a Bill of Rights added to that constitution. That is not what your rights are dependent upon. Your rights are given to you by God at birth. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Woo. So that's where your rights come from God at birth. So what's happened? How come our rights are under attack? We have given the right to a cop to walk up to you and say, "What are you doing? I'm suspicious of you." That's the whole problem. That's the entire problem. This guy literally was just outside of his hotel room eating, but we've allowed Terry versus Ohio to flourish in our country with hundreds of case laws being spurred off of Terry versus Ohio based on officer safety, reasonable suspicion, or detainment, grabbing you. And so this is the entire problem in our country, that one cop can walk up to you and say, "I'm suspicious of you," and your whole life is ruined. Your whole life is turned upside down. Remember, this man has committed no crimes, nothing. He's done nothing wrong. What's happening? Terry versus Ohio is happening. Terry's happening. Cops saw him, decided he was suspicious of him, and he walks up to him. And now he can grab him and throw him on the ground and beat him up in the name of his safety. You walked up to me. You stopped your car. You came up to my hotel where I was eating dinner. That's the problem in our country. It's Terry versus Ohio. It is Terry versus Ohio. When you see what this dumb shit cop looks like, he's dead now. But when you see what this dead cop looks like, this is Terry versus Ohio. This is the problem. We've allowed cops to walk up to us and say, "We're suspicious of you." And now that I'm suspicious of you, I'm scared for my life. I get to grab you because I'm scared. Terry puts officer safety first. So all I have to do is say, "I'm scared," and I can do anything I want to you. You have no more rights. My suspicion comes first. My officer safety comes second, and your rights are gone third. You got no rights. You will go on the ground now. I'll stick my knees in your neck now. I'll put you in torture cuffs and put you in my car now. You've done nothing wrong. This is a Terry stop. This is a Terry stop. This is a Terry stop. That's what you're seeing here. That's what you're seeing. And Basil says, is suspicion a felony or a misdemeanor? It's policy created by the Supreme Court. 9 black robe tyrants who are not accountable to you and I. We can't even vote them out. 2001, Atwater versus City of Lago Vista. David Souter, a so-called liberal, joins with the 4 conservative copsuckers and says you can be arrested for anything. Why wasn't Souter impeached? Why weren't the 4 other conservative justices impeached? Anything is arrestable? Yes. What do you mean anything is arrestable? I mean, if your driver's license that you're supposed to switch over within 90 days or 60 days or 120 days, however many days it is that you're supposed to switch your driver's license over. If the cop says, "Hey, you moved from West Virginia to Ohio. How long ago did you do that?" "Oh, I did that a year ago." "You haven't changed over your driver's license yet?" "No, I have not. It's still a West Virginia driver's license." Turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. For what? You violated the law. You didn't change your driver's license, Mr. Denzel Washington. You didn't change your driver's license over, so now you're under arrest. Any violation of the law in front of a peace officer, according to Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, is arrestable, and it's not a violation of your 4th Amendment. Cops walk up to you and start talking to you. "Hey, can I see some ID?" "What for?" "I'm suspicious of you." And the cop says, "What do you live around here?" And you go, "Yeah, I live right down the street." And he says, "Can I see your ID then?" And you go, "Sure, I'll give you my ID." You give the cop your ID. And he says, "Oh, Mr. Denzel Washington, how long have you lived in Beverly Hills at 8942 Wilshire Boulevard?" I actually live in Nevada." Oh, you didn't change your driver's license over? No, you didn't. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, 2001. So the cop can walk up to you because based on what? Terry versus Ohio, and start to question you. You don't know to invoke your Fifth Amendment right. You don't watch the channel. No one ever told you. No one ever gave you a set of Fifth Amendment cop cards. No one ever sat you down and explained the importance of you not talking to cops. You just thought the cop was suspicious, somebody looking for someone, and so I gave him my ID. The driver's license is wrong, and so now you're going to jail. The problem in our country is allowing one man to walk up to another man and say, I'm suspicious of you with no probable cause. That's the problem in America right now. That's the biggest problem in our country right now.
Huh?
When you saw me, you got walked away. Why?
That made me suspicious.
Why?
But you meet me here, you go para you drinking.
And now this man has to explain to himself that he's having his dinner and he's eating and getting something to drink. Cops have the right to walk up to you and question you. Earl Warren said in the oral arguments when he was talking to one of the lawyers, that police officer had a right, did he not, to go and investigate what he thought was crime. That's how the Supreme Court black tyrants see it. Black robe tyrants. That's how they see it.
Where are you staying?
Huh?
Where are you staying? Sleeping.
And now he wants to know everything about this guy. Why? Why does the cop get to know everything about him for having his dinner outside? That's Terry versus Ohio.
It's, yeah.
Here?
Yes.
Well, why aren't you eating inside?
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. Speaks.
Okay, I've got something coming.
It's obvious that Mendez doesn't understand what Kunovich is saying and is trying his darndest to explain what he's doing. Still, Kunovich continues to press him. Even after saying another officer is on the way, we also have to mention that Kunovich was not responding to a 911 call or another complaint about Mendez. Kunovich determined Mendez was acting suspiciously since he reportedly saw Mendez sitting outside a closed business.
Okay, do you have any ID, an identification, license?
But
ID, identification.
yeah.
In the room?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your first name?
Huh?
Your first name.
I'm sorry. Speaking.
Okay, do you have any weapons on you?
Why does this man have to tell him what his name is? Why does he have to answer any of these questions? What is happening right here that is making this possible? Anybody? Can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me what is the policy that allows the cop to walk up to you when you're having your dinner and question you and pepper you with questions? Where are you going? Where are you from? What are you doing? This is what kind of stop is this? Anybody? Put it in the comment section for me, please. This is a Terry stop. It gives the cops to walk up to you, the right to walk up to you, and then start demanding of you and even grab you and cuff you up. That's what Terry versus Ohio allows the cops to do to you. When can the cops grab you and cuff you? Anybody in the comment section? When can the cops grab you and cuff you?
You have any weapons on you?
No.
Well, you know what that is. Turn around. Let me look.
No.
Turn around.
No.
Turn around.
But no.
Don't walk away from me.
No. Sorry.
Don't pull away from me. I'm checking you for what? Get your hands away from your.
No.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
No. I'm sorry. Oh.
What allows the cop to run up and start grabbing you on the sides and grabbing your body? What allows him to do this? How come he can right here? Why can he grab him without probable cause? No crime. Nobody called and said there's a crime. There's his pig patrol car right there. He just pulled over on the side. What allows him to walk up and grab you? It's called Terry versus Ohio. They couldn't grab you without Terry. Couldn't stop his car and say, hey, I know I just saw you eating dinner, but I'm suspicious of you, Mexican beaner.
No.
Don't walk away from me.
No. Sorry.
Don't pull away from me. I'm checking you for what? Get your hands away from your.
No.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry.
Stop. Turn around. Get on the ground.
Hey, no, I'm sorry.
Get on the ground.
Kunovich unnecessarily escalates the stop by trying to search and detain Mendez, despite him having no clue what's going on and understandably fearing an eventual deportation as a second officer arrives on scene and wrestles Mendez to the ground with Kunovich.
And remember, and we may not like it, but it's not him doing it. It is the politicians bringing in our replacements. The politicians, the reason why there's a gaping hole in the border, the reason why they keep on allowing millions of illegal immigrants to come into our country is to take your place, to take your job. That's why the politicians are allowing this. That's why. You need to be replaced. They're bringing in replacement cops from illegal immigrants. They're bringing in replacement military from illegal immigrants that don't get the goosebumps up and down the back of their neck when they hear the Star Spangled Banner, even though the song has some tainted history. I still, when I hear the Star Spangled Banner, I stand up. I'm proud. This is my country. I love this country. Why do you think they're bringing illegal immigrants into the military and illegal immigrants into what's supposed to be a peace officer? Why do you think they're doing that? To replace you. So this guy came to this country to do the work of the low wages that he'll settle for so he can send the money back to his country. That's the reason why he came here. That's why he's here. To get the low-paying job in America, that's a very high-paying job in his country. But you wouldn't do it. How are we seeing this truly play out? If you're not following DoorDash on Reddit, then you're not really seeing it play out in the country. What's happened is the elites have destroyed the middle class. So now there's people who order DoorDash and people who are DoorDash deliverers, right? That's what there is. There's some people still stuck in the middle class who will order, DoorDash once or twice a month. But for the most part, you either order DoorDash regularly or you drive for DoorDash. And so what we're seeing in this country is on DoorDash on Reddit is people will show up and say, hey, where's my tip? Because they still need enough money to pay for their house and their car. But we've created an economy for illegal immigrants to come in and take our jobs. So when the DoorDash driver gets to the house and says, hey, where's the tip? And the person who has money doesn't tip them, the DoorDash driver will throw their food across the ground or say, F you, I'm taking the food and I'm leaving, or start eating the food right in front of them. You're not going to tip me? I just drove 30 minutes out to your house. So they start eating the food because they're quitting DoorDash. And what this guy did is come here to do a job for a very, very low wage that you and I would never do because we value our time and ourselves more than that. But he comes from a country that it's 1/4. It's 1/4. Okay, so let's get into it.
No, familia. Mi family. I'm gonna tase you. Family, stop. Family, put your hands. Family.
Mendez appears to be saying family before he is chokeslam and taser ball on the ground.
No. Use your hands. No. Hands. Hands. Lay on your stomach. Sorry, no speak English. Lay on your stomach.
And also TYT, just for the YouTube censors, TYT over there, Rick Strom, he already censored this for you, YouTube China. Look at that. They were all on top of. So you hear him scream right there. I really want to show you something here that you may not have noticed. And I'll kill the sound because there's only a couple more screams here. But I want to show you something here. Take a look here. Okay. It looks like a bunch of people, right? But remember, there's a human being under them. Under these 4 guys right here, they're all have all 4 of their body weight on top of this guy right now. And you can really see it when they stand up and you realize there was a human being underneath of those 4. There's 4 guys there. Look, they're all on top of him. There's no other place for their bodies to be other than on top of his human body. kneeling, standing, stepping. All their weight is going down onto that guy right there. There's another guy underneath of those two guys that you can't see yet. Just wait a second. Look, there's a fourth guy. Do you see? There's 4 people stacked on top of him. There's one guy on top of his chest with his knees, on his back with his knees. Look at these guys. They're all standing on him. Look, his whole body's on him. He has to step off of him. Look. They just get to all put their bodies on top of us and just crush us. And if you die, it's in their policy that that's what they're supposed to do. It's their policy. So if you die, you die.
Officers say that Mendez tried to grab one of their tasers and, while not shown on camera, officers say that Mendez
While not shown on camera,
tried to grab one of their tasers.
officers say that Mendez tried to grab one of their tasers. Is that what it looked like he was doing? Looks like he was saying, family, 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 and I need money for my family. I'm trying to work.
And reportedly
I came here to take the jobs your politicians are giving away.
found a small pocket knife on Mendez while forcing him into cuffs on the ground. Now, as unnecessary and disturbing as the arrest itself was, things took a sharp turn for the worse as Sergeant
And this is where I'm going to ask you guys to sign a petition.
Kunovich, the officer who originally stopped Mendez, ended up suffering a heart attack and collapsed shortly after Mendez was placed in cuffs, later losing his life in the hospital. After 26 years with the St. John's Sheriff's Office, Mendez was initially facing a felony murder charge and a resisting arrest with violence charge when he was first arrested. A resisting arrest charge was expected, but you don't have to be a legal scholar to think that charging Mendez with murder because an officer involved in an arrest out of a heart attack is beyond absurd. A few months later, the murder charge was reduced to an aggravated manslaughter charge, but in reality, that means the state is still holding Mendez primarily responsible for Kunovich's death.
They're holding him for murder. Let me read this to you real quick. This says St. John's, Florida. Man accused in St. John's sergeant's death no longer charged. The man accused in the death of St. John's County Sergeant Michael Kunovich is no longer charged with felony murder. Oh, really? Because he didn't murder him, you mean? You mean because Kunovich attacked him savagely like a psychopath? The state attorney general's office has now charged Virgilio Aguilar Mendez with aggravated manslaughter of an officer. Oh, God. Downgrading his original charges. This means that Aguilar Mendez is accused of causing Kunovich's death through negligence or disregard for human life. While it carries a lesser sentence, a manslaughter charge means that prosecutors no longer need to prove that Aguilar Mendez killed Kunovich intentionally, that he accidentally killed him by being standing there and by being accused of being suspicious. He killed Kunovich. Makes a lot of sense.
Just through negligence rather than intention. St. John's County Medical Examiner Dr. Wendolyn Sneed determined Kunovich's cause of death to be an abnormal and or irregular heartbeat due to damaged arteries and high blood pressure, with the physical and emotional stress of arresting Mendez being possible contributory causes. The full report also details interviewed officers claiming that Kunovich complained about back and chest pain and respiratory issues in
And this is the problem that we're all facing right now, that America is facing. Who is the St. John's County prosecutor in Florida who is prosecuting a guy for manslaughter who we can see on camera didn't do anything other than not understand what was happening and why the cops were attacking him? He had no clue. He had no clue why the cops were physically attacking him. No clue. He had zero idea why this was happening. He was outside eating his dinner 1 second. The next thing he knows, they got 4 cops literally on top of him. We saw it. And he doesn't understand why. Who is the St. John's County prosecutor that is prosecuting Menendez for manslaughter? How does that person have that power, and how is that not stripped away after we see the video? How is there not a judge or a governor of the state of Florida, DeSantis, how do they not watch this video and say, dismiss the case now? Dismiss the case. The cop died because of his high blood pressure and irregular heartbeat. Menendez had nothing to do with killing him. Nothing. So here's the petition right here. I'm going to drop the petition down in the comment section. Sign the petition. It's at 534,000 signatures. We got to get it to 1 million, so it's only halfway there. Here is the... There it is. I just put that in there for you guys. Check that out. Check that out. Looks good. And if you would please make sure that you sign that petition so that we can try to get the guy out of jail. It's just, who is the prosecutor in St. Johns County, Florida, that would continue to prosecute Menendez after we see the video? Don't let government or people who are in power tell you that you saw something that you didn't see, or change your perspective on a video that you saw. You saw the video. You don't need to be told what you're seeing. You are capable of taking a look at what you're seeing and judging for yourself. And I know where the original where we can. It's just frustrating. If anybody can find the original body cam footage for me that's uninterrupted, I would love to see it. So it's just really frustrating that remember this and spread this to your friends and family, right? The government is trying to tell you now that you're not seeing what you're seeing, and that what you're really seeing isn't what you're seeing. Here's what it really is. It's really, you're watching Menendez attempt to murder this cop. That's what you're really seeing. Don't think about reasonable suspicion as being completely ridiculous. Think about Menendez being charged with a crime. That's what they're doing. It's a smoke and mirrors show.
In the past. With all this being said, Mendez has remained in custody without bond since May of last year, but now his family has hired a lawyer in hopes of preventing Mendez from serving life in prison. Attorney Philip Arroyo argues that Kunovich violated Mendez's Fourth Amendment rights when trying to search Mendez after initiating the stop. St. John's Sheriff Robert Hardwick is obviously running defense for his employees and blaming Kunovich's death on Mendez not unequivocally complying with his requests, even though he didn't understand them. Mendez's first language isn't Spanish, but rather an indigenous language native to his home in Guatemala. Arroyo and his team are threatening a federal suit if the charges against Mendez aren't dropped, pointing out that to charge Mendez with manslaughter, the state must prove and establish that Mendez knew Kunovich had a heart condition beyond a reasonable doubt.
So this says, attorney for man accused in death of St. Johns County. The medical examiner's report says Kunovich died from an irregular heartbeat after an altercation with Mendez. Officials noted that the struggle could have contributed to his death. Mendez attorney Philip Arroyo calls his case one of the greatest injustices he's ever seen. Arroyo says his client is a victim of police brutality and intends to file a federal lawsuit. He says there is not enough evidence and calls the case a grave injustice and disheartening. For the state to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, they have to establish that Mr. Aguilar knew that Kunovich had a heart condition, which I don't know how they're going to prove, unless they're going to try to argue that our client has X-ray vision, attorney Philip Arroyo said.
Going on to say that Mendez was racially profiled and is a victim of police brutality who was subjected to multiple civil rights abuses during his arrest. Mendez was recently deemed incompetent to stand trial because he doesn't understand the legal process and will remain in Volusia County Jail for the time being without bond. As of this recording, over 460,000 people have signed a petition.
So there's 516,000 signatures now. Let me see what's on the petition here. There's 534,000. So let's try to get 1,000 signatures. There's going to be 10,000 people approximately or so who see this video, give or take 1,000 or two. There's going to be at least 10,000 people who see this video. And so what I challenge you to do, one of the people watching this video right now, I challenge you to go and sign this petition. I know, man, I signed it. I'm going to get a bunch of spam from this website. They're going to continually send me petitions. I know. I want to get that petition to 1 million signatures. I want to get it to 1 million signatures, because if we can get it to 1 million signatures, at least that shows that there are 1 million Americans here in the world, in our world, in America, in the United States, where there's 1 million of us who actually care enough to take our time, use your spam email. Like that's what is what you just put in there. Derek Morris said he used my spam email, because they're going to spam you, but let's get that to 1 million. I mean, let's get them out of jail. Don't leave me in there. Go back to Hobbes' philosophy on the nature of man. Hobbes wrote a philosophy on the nature of man. I've talked about it hundreds of times. Hobbes believes we're this brutish, rapist, inconsiderate, selfish being, that we do everything we only do for ourselves. So I've talked about it ad nauseum. And so I'm asking you to sign this petition for him, in the hopes that you would sign the petition for me. Right? Everything we do for ourselves. That's Hobbes' philosophy. You're not even a good mother to your child because you love your child. You're a good mother to your child, so your child will love you. And that's the reason you're really doing it. So you get to feel something good. That's Hobbes' definition of the nature of man. So I only want to get 1,000 people. So this little channel here, Delete Laws, we will put 1,000 signatures. We will put 1,000 signatures on this. So tomorrow when I check this, we're at 535,207. There's going to be 10,000 people who watch this video. So of the 10,000 people who watch this, please go and sign this petition for the love of all that is good. For the love that is all that is good. I mean, if not, we're just like we're frauds. We don't really care, If it only takes you 5 seconds of your time to go and sign that petition, then I think that you should take the time to do it. It really is just 5 minutes of your time to sign something and use your spam folder. And could you imagine if you were in jail and you were in Guatemala or Ecuador or Colombia or Argentina, and you're in one of the, and I'm naming off Latin nations, and you're in jail, and for you to get out of jail, it only requires the people of that country to sign a petition. All they have to do is watch the video of you getting cheated, and then they have to sign a petition, and you might be able to get out of jail. I mean, to me, it's worth it. To me, I do have a spam email address, and so I'll use that spam email address. This got sent to me the other day. I mean, it's just atrociously bad. It's just atrociously bad. What really blows me away is the fact that Jude, what's your zip code? Dale, what's your zip code? Or shoot me a real quick a message, and I'll look up your tracking number. So we're looking at it. we're looking at it. So this is an Orlando Internal Affairs interview of Andrew Mamone, and I got 16 minutes and 26 seconds into it, and I thought to myself, you know, I should watch this with you guys real quick, and we should just watch a little bit of this because this is super interesting.
An interview with Officer Andrew Mamone. This interview is being conducted by Investigator LaShawn Goins of the Orlando Police Department Internal Affairs Section. You have a right to a representative of your choice, and your representative here today is
Sean Dunlap.
Today's date is May 28, 2019, and the time is now 10:34 hours. Officer Mamone, there are certain things you should be aware of prior to being asked any questions. This interview is an official investigation assigned to Internal Affairs by the Chief of Police. This investigation concerns administrative matters only. Anything you say in this interview cannot be used as evidence in any criminal proceeding against you, except pursuant to Chapter 837 Florida statutes regarding perjury. Officer Mamone, you are a principal in this investigation. Are you now on duty?
Yes.
The inquiring party in this inquiry is Sergeant Wesley Whited. The nature of this investigation and this inquiry concern alleged violations of RM 800-2, arrest, subsection C, treatment of prisoners. This inquiry also relates to the circumstances surrounding all incidents, which took place on February 4, 2019. For a point of record, on the INOI, the date says February 2nd, 2019, but the date is actually February 4th, 2019. I order you not to discuss any facet of this investigation with anyone except your legal representative, union representative, and internal affairs. A violation of this order will be considered insubordination, which may result in discipline up to and including termination. This order remains in effect until relieved by competent authority or the investigation becomes public record. Additionally, Chapter 112 Florida statute prohibits your legal counsel or representative from disclosing the contents of the internal affairs complaint and investigative findings until the investigation becomes public record. A law enforcement officer or witness who knowingly provides or makes a false statement during an internal or administrative investigation may subject that officer to prosecution for perjury. Department regulations require you to answer my questions and to be completely truthful. I now order you to answer the following questions. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You have been provided for your review the complaint, all witness statements, including all other existing subject officer and all other existing evidence, including but not limited to incident reports and any audio or video recordings relating to the incident under investigation. No information of material fact relevant to this investigation has been intentionally kept from your attention and review. Now that you have had an opportunity to read and review the aforementioned case file, do you have any additional identifiable witnesses before the beginning of this interview?
No, ma'am.
Could you please sign and date the attachments page indicating that you were able to review the contents inside and that this stuff matches up with what's in here? Outside of your interview, Jordan has to be interviewed again. For the record, this is an official investigation and not a formality. Officer Mamone and Representative Dunlap, do you have any questions or concerns prior to the start of this interview process regarding this investigation?
I do not.
No.
Do you have any questions or concerns regarding this investigation as it relates to the FOP contract and Florida State Statute 112.532?
You're going to see how corrupt internal affairs is, what a scam it is.
The Police Officers Bill of Rights?
I do not.
We reserve any of those concerns for the grievance or arbitration process.
Understand you're reserving your right to raise such issues in the grievance or arbitration process. As of today, would you like to continue with the interview?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Andrew, Andrew, Mamone, Mamone.
And how long have you been with us at OPD?
Over 3 years.
And did you have law enforcement prior to that?
Yes, ma'am. Over 2 years at the city of Sanford.
Any more?
Nope.
Okay. Where are you currently assigned?
Vehicles for hire.
Where were you assigned when the incident occurred on February 4th, 2019?
West Patrol Division, Golf Alpha Mids.
And how long were you in that spot?
Up to the month of March of this year.
March.
From
So
date of hire.
Okay, so you transferred somewhere else in March.
Yeah, transferred to East Patrol Division, Kilo Alpha Mids.
Okay. We're here reference IR 1933. This INOI is in reference to a possible violation of RM 800-2 arrest, subsection C, treatment of prisoners. Did you have an opportunity to review the body camera footage related to this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The other two officers in this video, these are officers Madison and Seitz. Is that correct?
Correct.
Were you riding solo or two-man?
2-man capacity.
And were you the driver or the passenger?
Passenger.
So originally you all conducted a traffic stop. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then at some point you got them both out of the car and you were trying to identify who the passenger in the car was, correct?
Correct. We established probable cause for a search.
Okay. While you all were standing, I think you were still inside the vehicle and officers Madison and Seitz were standing up and you were eventually able to get a positive identification on the passenger, correct?
Correct.
At that time, he took off running away from you guys, correct?
Correct.
Tell me what happened after that.
The Mr. Grant, the suspect, the passenger in the car who I was attempting to identify, was looking back. Based off the false identification he provided, I used that as clues through the mugshots program to try and find his real identity. Upon finding his real identity, I guess he picked up on my verbal and nonverbal cues that I had positively identified him. Once I stepped out of the car, he began to run at a full sprint. I guess it would be like northwest from us towards the entrance of Timberleaf and Greenbelt, which is Timberleaf Apartments.
Okay, and then what happened?
Due to the fact he was providing active physical resistance, I deployed my electronic control device after he fell, popped up, and then attempted to flee again. It had a positive effect of him going to the ground. He didn't fully lock up, but he did go to the ground, which then Officer Madison and I were able to use hands-on techniques to keep him from getting up and trying to flee again.
Okay.
No, you were able to use hands-on techniques. You mean you were able to attack a guy who wasn't going to fight back against you? You weren't able to subdue anybody. People don't fight against the cops very, very rarely. So you weren't able to subdue him. He tried to get away from you and you were attacking him. Keep it straight, beta male chump ass pig.
So you to get him under control and you eventually stand him up and you all walk back towards where Officer Seitz is, correct?
Correct. When he goes to the ground, he flips his handcuffs. His handcuffs are on the front.
Yeah.
Which is problematic, of course. And then myself and Officer Madison walk him back to the patrol vehicles and the original scene of the traffic stop.
Okay. What happened when you get back to the original site of the traffic stop?
Mr. Grant is placed on the ground in a kneeling position, and he is told to put his handcuffs back behind his back.
Is that how you were taught to handcuff somebody?
I was not trained on having a suspect replace his handcuffs from the front to the rear after he has reversed them, after he has flipped them from back to front. I have not been trained on putting his handcuffs back behind his back.
Okay.
Nobody told us how to take the cuffs off him and recuff him behind his back. But truly, if we had a Velcro strap that went around his waist and then we hooked the strap to the waist and then put his hands in front of him, he would still be detained and couldn't hurt anybody. And he wouldn't have to have his torture cuffs on behind his back. And then he wouldn't try to slip his cuffs. Maybe, just maybe. The dumb pig hasn't been trained on how to take a guy who's got cuffs on in the front and put the cuffs on in the back. Just what the flock.
How do you normally handcuff a person if they haven't been handcuffed?
If they are not handcuffed, you handcuff them behind the back.
Okay, what if they say the handcuffs are twisted or hurting them? How do you unhandcuff them to readjust it?
I have not been trained on handcuffing a suspect based on his complaint of pain.
Have you ever had to adjust a handcuff on a person?
Yes.
How?
When they're behind his back.
How?
By placing my handcuff key in the handcuff and adjusting them behind his back.
Okay. So he's on the ground and you tell him to put his hands back and behind him. And what does he say?
He fails to comply with the order.
What does he say?
You'd have to play the camera for me to repeat verbatim what he said. And even then, you just have to listen. I don't know.
So remember, this is an internal affairs investigation, so something has gone horrifically wrong here. This cop already said how he attacked him and subdued him by using hands-on techniques. It looks soft to me, to be honest with you. He looks soft. Looks like he'd get his ass handed to him by anybody who fought back against him.
Right.
So she's watching that video back.
Get these handcuffs back behind him. Where do you think you're going to go? Y'all going to run us with handcuffs on. Now you're going to stop. Now you're going to drop down to your knees. Now you're going to fix your handcuffs. Going to put them back there and back. No, okay, let them go. Put them back. Put them behind your back. Go on. You're the one who got them in front. You told me.
Now put him back behind your back. There's a dunce cap pig.
Put them under your knees. Put them on your back. If you do anything other than what I say, you get sprayed in the face.
You just say if I move.
Put them behind your back.
You just say if I move, you gonna spray me.
You're going to put those behind your back.
He might have some. What's wrong? Why can't spray it?
Oh, no, he's just, he just likes them. Go ahead, put those.
How did you get him out? How did you get him out? He's not telling me not to move.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
Just such good pigs we have in America. You shut your mouth and you shut your mouth. And this is the way the pigs talk to people in America. Imagine if you just walked up to them and said, shut your mouth.
Those under your knees, slip them under your knees and around your back. If you gotta go to your side, go to your side.
You just
Do what you gotta do. Put your handcuffs behind your back. How's that?
look, I'm gonna lay you down and you gonna do what you gotta do.
There you go. Now put your legs through the cuffs.
But I'm trying to, like, it feel like I cannot move. I swole. You let me in my, I swole.
Put them behind your back.
Oh my God. Put it behind your back.
Go on.
Look at me. I tried to, bro.
You're not even trying. Not even trying.
So he says he's trying to, right?
That's what he says. He apparently made no physical attempt, but he says he tried to.
Okay. But he said he tried. That's what he said.
That's what he said. No.
Not even trying. You're stuck.
So when he says he's not even trying, is he just laying flat or what is he doing at that point?
He
'Cause I
laid-
can't see on your.
You do see a little when it pans back and forth. When he originally laid on a
I
slide,
can't see his full body on your body camera right during none of this. Like I can't see his body.
Go
I
on.
see his foot.
yeah, exactly. So you see his foot. I recall from him with his legs outstretched, not attempting to even bring his knees to his chest to flip the handcuffs.
Okay. And he says he can't.
Yeah, but he hasn't physically tried, and he says he can't. Correct.
Okay. Well, there's some
Well, he hasn't tried to switch the handcuffs, and so, you know.
things that I know I can't do without having tried. But I understand what you're saying. You're saying he didn't
I'm
try.
about to unstuck you.
Correct.
You want to do it? You want me to do it for you?
I tried to, bro.
You're not even trying. Not even trying.
I tried.
Not even trying. You're stuck. I'm about to unstuck you. You want to do it? You want me to do it?
What does that mean? I'm about to unstuck you.
That's a threat that I'm going to beat you, tase you, hurt you, kick you, punch you, that I'm going to do something physical to you while you're incapacitated because you're in torture cuffs. That's what that means. We put a 1 in the chat if that's exactly what that means. That's exactly what that pig meant.
Stuck you. You want? Not even trying. You're stuck. I'm about to unstuck you. You want to do it? You want me to do it?
What does that mean? I'm about to unstuck you.
I can't recall it because I can't see him.
You said it. What does it mean?
I can't recall because I can't see. He said, I don't know what he means by I'm stuck, so therefore I don't recall what I meant by I can't unstuck you.
And why were you going to pepper spray him?
If he provided physical resistance, my use of force choice probably would have been pepper spray.
Let's go with.
Wait, I'm so sorry. So just understand something. This man's in torture cuffs. There's more than one cop there.
Why were you going to pepper spray him?
Call what I meant by I can't unstuck you.
And why were you going to pepper spray him?
If he provided physical resistance, my use of force choice probably would have been pepper spray.
And that's their policy. And if they do that to you while you're in torture cuffs, they're going to refer back to their policy manual and say, look, it's in our policy. We're allowed to pepper spray people in torture cuffs. It's written right here. See, I followed the policy. Well, maybe the policy should be changed. Just maybe, huh?
Let's go with.
Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
Is that how investigations for you are done? The investigator sits there right in front of you and goes through a video? This should happen Johnny on the spot on the street. Well, let's take a look at that cam and see what actually happened before you charge this guy with felonies or arrest him.
Those under your knees, slip them under your knees, and around your back. If you gotta go to your side, go to your side. You just do what you gotta do. Put your handcuffs behind your back. How's that?
Look, I'm finna lay you down, and you gonna do what you gotta do.
There you go. Now put your legs through the cuffs.
But I'm trying to, like, it feels like I cannot move. I swole. You let me in my, I swole. Like,
Put them behind your back.
What is he saying there? I'm what?
put it behind your back.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Go home.
Look at me. I tried to, bro.
You're not even trying.
I swole.
Put them behind your back.
Oh my God, that's before. Put it behind.
What was the purpose of shaking the pepper spray?
I don't recall. Am I checking pepper spray?
Go home.
Look at me. I tried to, bro.
You're not even trying. Not even trying.
I tried to.
Not even trying.
Bro.
You're stuck. I'm about to unstuck you. You want to do? You want me to do it for you? You want to do? You want me to do it for you? Okay, we'll do it.
Oh, what the fuck?
I didn't even touch you.
Oh, what the
Put your leg back around. Go
Wow.
on. Put your leg back around.
I cannot, bro. Look,
Did you hear? Listen.
Okay, we'll do it.
oh, what the fuck?
I didn't even
Ah, what the?
touch you.
Oh, what the
Ah. Don't just let it slide by.
Put your leg back around. Go on. Put your leg back around.
I cannot, bro. Look,
Okay, he said, I cannot. And now you're forcefully pulling his leg through the handcuffs. Why are you pulling his leg through the handcuffs?
To get them.
To torture him. Because I'm a sadistic, disgusting demon. I'm evil. I signed up to do this. So for this exact moment, I signed up to this job hoping one day I would be able to get somebody and try to contort their body through chains and cuffs. That's why I signed up to be this pig that I am. That's why I'm here. I'm just disappointed I got to answer to you about it. I signed up for this and everybody else gets away with it. Why are you asking me all these questions?
Okay, he said, I cannot. And now you're forcefully pulling his leg through the handcuffs. Why are you pulling his leg through the handcuffs?
To get them repositioned to the rear.
He said that he couldn't and that he was yelling because it hurt.
He was screaming. Remember, I played it back? Ah.
We don't know if he's yelling because he's hurt.
Couldn't and that he was yelling.
Put your leg.
Okay. He said that he couldn't and that he was yelling because it hurt.
We don't know if he's yelling because he's hurt.
Go on. Put your leg back around.
I cannot, bro. Look,
Okay, he said,
oh, what the fuck?
I didn't even touch you.
Oh, what the
Sounds like it hurts to me. I'm just saying stop resisting. He must be resisting, right? Stop resisting. He must be resisting, right? Well, from the sound of that, he must be hurting then.
leg through the handcuffs. Why are you pulling his leg through the handcuffs?
To get them repositioned to the rear.
He said that he
To torture him, to hurt him, to demean him, to degrade him. Because I'm an evil demon piece of shit of a person.
couldn't and that he was yelling because it hurt.
We don't know if he's yelling because he's hurt.
Oh, yeah, he was yelling because it hurt.
I can yell right now. It doesn't mean I'm in physical pain.
He was yelling as you were pulling his leg through the handcuffs.
Correct, he was.
So that wouldn't indicate that it was hurting him?
Not necessarily, man.
Why else would he be yelling?
For any various reasons. Draw a crowd. Make sure you get attention to people in the apartment. That's a common thing that we see when we're out on patrol.
Yeah. Not because we're torturing them, beating them, and abusing them. We commonly see them scream for help as they're being tortured, just so they can get other people to watch them be tortured, so we can then tell them that they're not being tortured. Don't worry, you're not seeing torture. I'm ripping his leg through cuffs to put his wrists behind his back from the forward position, but this doesn't hurt him. Him screaming is just for attention. We see it on patrol all the time. Don't believe what you're seeing and hearing. Don't believe that you're seeing me torture this man. And don't believe that you're hearing him scream from being tortured. We're seeing it on patrol all the time. They're faking it. It's not true. Torture cuffs don't hurt you. He's fine.
People will scream even in the back of a patrol car just to get people to the scene.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Okay. There's internal affairs for you.
Bro, I tried.
You're not trying. You just did. I just saw you do it. Oh, that's all right.
He said, I'm trying, I can't, and you're still forcefully pulling his leg through. Why are you still pulling his leg through?
Same answer to get his handcuffs repositioned to the rear.
But he's saying that he can't do it. Why are you pulling his hand through? If it's hurting him and he says he can't do it, it's not going to work.
We don't know if it's hurting him. And the same answer to put his hands behind his back.
We'll get it. We'll get it. Go on, stick your foot through. I see people do this every day. Ah! Come on. Come on. Stop. But you stop fighting me and just do it.
No, bro. I thought with you, bro.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Put your foot
Sounds like he's in pain to me.
around.
Was he faking it, Piggy?
That wasn't that hard. Now do the other one. Do the other one. Put the handcuffs back behind your back. Go on, do the other one. I'm not taking this off. Your cuffs aren't going back. You already ran once. I ain't going to take them off. Put your other foot. I'll do the other one.
He's a total psychopath.
So you didn't want to reposition the handcuffs because you haven't been trained or because he already ran once?
I haven't been trained in repositioning a suspect who has fled from the scene, who has flipped his cuffs on the ground to reposition him in his back, man.
Okay. And that's what he's been taught to say. I haven't been trained on how to chase a guy down after he's repositioned his cuffs. And because I haven't been trained, I just need more training. I wasn't trained properly on this, because when you go to court and you sue the jackboot thug pig, then they have to find case law that had something similar to do with this case to justify him being charged with violating your rights. We know this one time when they lit a guy ablaze who had been sprayed with lighter fluid, and then they tased him. And when they sued, the judge said, I can't find any case precedents for this, and so I got to let the cop go. That's the system of jurisprudence that we have in America that doesn't work. That the judge can say, you're using that case law? Yeah, counselor, that's the wrong case law. You would apply this case law, it would be more applicable to your case. But no, Your Honor, this case is, no, you're wrong. Why am I wrong? Because this exonerates the cop and doesn't allow the cop to be held accountable. So we're going to use this case law over here. But this is the applicable case law. No, it's not. This is it. And that's the system that we live in today. The corrupt Kevin or Karen judge, if this ever got to court for him obviously torturing, abusing somebody, the Kevin or Karen judge would go, well, there's no case precedent here for the flipped handcuffs. This exact scenario hasn't already appeared before, so I got nothing to go case precedent for. Case dismissed. And it happens all the time. The judges are working against us. They're our enemies. The judges in America are the enemy of the people. I'm sorry. If you're just waking up, welcome to the red pill. You're awake. And I don't mean politically. I mean, you're awake. You know now that this guy tortured this guy, and that the person sitting there looking on a computer is only there to administratively push through it and then go, you're right, it was justified. And if she says he's guilty, then the Fraternal Order of Police will back him up, sue, and then in 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, 5 years, he'll get his job back with all the back pay. And they'll say that she was incorrect in her assessment. It's a broken system that has to be changed, and it can only be changed from the top down.
Okay, so you didn't have control of the prisoner?
No, I never said we didn't have control. I said I've never
I'm asking
trained.
you, did you have control of him?
I can't say.
He's on top of him.
I can't say we did.
It's not a trick question.
Well, it is, because it depends on your definition of control.
Wow. You see what they've done? Do you see the system before you? He can hide within slots. I didn't get enough training. I was never trained on this. And then control means what? He's not really detained. The cuffs are between his legs. They're not behind his back. They're not in front of his back.
Is he free to go?
No, it depends on your definition of control.
Was he free to go?
No, ma'am, he's detained.
Did you have physical control of him?
Like I said, that determines on your definition of control. If I put him in the back of my patrol car, would you say I have physical control? But I don't, even though he's detained in the back of the patrol car.
Is he free to leave?
No, he's detained, ma'am.
Okay. Is he under arrest in the back of the car?
Yes, at this point, he's under arrest.
Okay. So what was stopping you from unhandcuffing him and putting the handcuffs behind his back?
I've never been trained to do that.
You've never been trained to unlock a pair of handcuffs?
Not from a person who has fled and lied about his name.
That has nothing to do with you unlocking a pair of handcuffs. Nothing. Have you been trained to unlock handcuffs?
To unlock handcuffs?
Yes.
Not when they're from
Have
his
you
body.
ever been trained to unlock handcuffs? That's all I'm asking you.
Not in the front of a person's body.
Can we take a break?
You sure can.
So he can go outside and coach the cop and how to continue to go around the system of accountability. That's the Fraternal Order of Police union rep. That's the union rep trying to protect the pig.
1050 hours.
I think this is where I stopped. Yep, this is right where I stopped, 1630. So that was on the record, and now let's listen to off the record. See, let's take our time here and see if we can transcribe what they're saying here. So this is the internal affairs interview, and then this is the internal affairs interview when the union rep for the pig says, "Can we take a break?" You can't do that. Anybody can put them behind, but put them from the front is something totally different. Everybody's yelling. Is that what gets to happen for you when you're having a meeting with your lawyer and the cops and they're questioning you? Does the lawyer say, "Hold on a second, let's pause for a second," and then you go outside with the investigator, and then the lawyer admonishes the investigator, and I say, "What are you talking about?" and I start admonishing the investigator? Is that what happens for you and I? This is the joke that internal affairs is. Let's listen carefully. They're talking about the case with the investigator off the record. Now they're talking about the kinds of questions she asked him. Here's what I asked. Have you ever been trained to put the handcuffs? That's all I asked. She's trying to defend herself for asking basic questions when there's an internal affairs investigation because of the abuse caught on camera where he's ripping the guy's legs. I haven't seen that video.
I'm just trying to ask questions.
She got punished. She got admonished. She got admonished. She went into that room dejected because the union rep for the cop was smacking her around and the cop was yelling at her out there too. And this is how she enters into the room.
I'm just trying to ask questions.
Dejected. You're not supposed to ask hard questions, honey. Didn't you know that? You're not supposed to ask hard questions. What are you thinking questioning that cop in that manner? The union rep is right here. Don't you know you're in the gang too? Doesn't she know she's in the gang too? Doesn't she know that the gang will target her? Doesn't she know that the cops will wait outside the bar she goes to, and then when she leaves, they'll pull up next to her and say, "Sober? Are you sober? Have a nice night." Drive away. Doesn't she understand that she's a part of the gang? Yes. Yes, she does. She understands that she's a part of the gang, that she's in the gang, and that if she goes too far, and you can see it right here, she's afraid that if she pushed too hard, that gang's going to turn on her.
I'm just trying to ask questions.
Shit. Is the gang against me? Have I said too much? Is the gang going to put rats on my car when I come out from work? Are they going to target my nephew who's in the police academy? Legs are shaking. She's starting to quiver. Got to come back out now. Let's go over these questions before we go back in. Let me grab the rest of my questions and let you take a look at them and make sure they're okay.
We are back in the interview room.
Oh, what a joke. What a joke. Now, every time you hear on the news, an internal investigation has been launched. Police in Aurora are now under internal investigations. Here in Seattle, police are now facing an internal investigation. Here in Dallas, Texas, these police officers have been turned over to internal affairs. What a joke. She took the clipboard out there so they could get the rest of the questions okayed.
At 10:54 hours.
Can't ask this one. I can ask this one. I can't ask this one. I can ask this one. Maybe I can ask this question. Can I ask this one? I got the rep sitting behind me. Let me pretend like I'm really getting into the investigation here. Let me pretend like I'm really getting into this. We're back on the record here. The camera's watching me. I better pretend like I'm doing something. And remember, there's only 2 minutes of this left, so she's going to wrap this up pretty dang quick. He's checking his watch over here. You about done, honey? We got to get this man back on the street to abuse some people, rip their legs through torture cuffs. He's taking notes for the gang. Internal affairs representative took direction well. I went outside. I told her that she needed to change her line of questioning and not continue down the line that would make the cop look bad. And so we're deciding on whether or not we're going to burn her house down or not.
At what point did you realize that Mr. Grant had a warrant?
What? Wait a second. What? We're at 21:22 right here, 21 minutes and 22 seconds right here.
With you unlocking a pair of handcuffs? Nothing. You've never been trained to unlock a pair of handcuffs?
That's where we were last. That was the last question.
Not from a person who has fled and lied about his name.
That has nothing to do with you unlocking a pair of handcuffs. Nothing. Have you been trained to unlock handcuffs?
To unlock handcuffs?
Yes.
Not when they're from
Have
his
you
body.
ever been trained to unlock handcuffs? That's all I'm asking you.
Not in the front of a person's body.
Can we take a break?
You sure can.
Have you ever been trained to unlock handcuffs? Back to 21:22.
Did you realize that Mr. Grant had a warrant?
You went from have you been trained to take off handcuffs to when did you realize he had a warrant? One justifying actions, one questioning action.
I believe just after Sergeant Ospina shows up to do his response to resistance.
So the handcuffing and moving the handcuffs around, all of that was already done, right? And he was by the car?
He's being interviewed by Sergeant Ospina by the Ford Explorer.
So the handcuffing thing was done on the ground?
Correct.
And what was his warrant for?
Attempted homicide out of North Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, man. That fraternal order, a cop guy, that union rep right there said, pull him over and asked him, next questions, what about the warrant? What was the warrant for? Let's justify this cop's actions. And it's all on the record. It was for murder.
And what was his warrant for?
Attempted homicide out of North Charleston, South Carolina.
And remember, the cops can charge you. Right now, cops are charging Mendez with manslaughter of killing a cop. Remember that. So they can charge you with murder or anything they want, anytime they want. Doesn't mean it's real.
Officer Dunlap?
Can we back the video all the way up to the beginning, please?
Now he's going to take over her computer. Nothing quite says, I'm in charge of you, like taking over your laptop. Everybody knows it. You don't just slide to the side and let someone start driving on your laptop. You know that. Get your dick skinners out of here. Get your booger picking fingers off my laptop. Everybody knows you don't just go ahead. You can have it. It's her laptop. Where is Chevy?
Looking for when they ran.
Mm-hmm.
It's around 2813.
Where's 20?
First day, just like this. Yeah, that's because your face is in dirt.
Can we see him beating on him? Yeah, that's because your face is in dirt and you hear all that clack, 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 clack. That's him attacking someone who's not fighting back. Let's see that part too, okay?
Sit down. Sit down, you're going to get it again.
You're going to get what again? The beating I just did on you that you didn't retaliate to.
Roll over. And roll over now.
Roll over like my dog, Charlie. Roll over, Charlie. Roll over. That's what we are. We're dogs, and they are the masters.
Oh, that's all right. I'll use my hands now.
Did you hear him wince in pain when he pulled his hands up to the front?
No, sir.
That's it.
Do you want to clarify or add any statements made by you during this interview?
No, ma'am.
Is the testimony you provided true and correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any additional identifiable witnesses that may have ever provided? Do you?
Pain. Did you hear him wince in pain when he pulled his hands up to the front?
No, sir.
Did you hear him wince in pain? No, I didn't hear that. Okay.
That's it.
And then he calls it. That's it. He ends it. Oh my God. Put a 1 in the chat if that's the biggest scam you've ever seen. Put a 1 in the chat if that's the biggest scam you have ever seen. It's going to reload on you. 1 second. It's going to reload. The StreamYard's going to reload whether I like it or not. So it might hit a blank. You guys, it might hit a... Are you there still? Come on, bad chicken. Sorry about that. My computer just decided not to work all of a sudden. Are we back? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me okay. Sorry about that. Sometimes it just has Chevy. What's going on, Playboy? Haven't seen you the whole time here. So I want to show you guys something here. This is do me a favor, everybody, hit the like button real quick. Hit the like button. Put a 1 in the chat if you got a Fifth Amendment cop card in your wallet. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a trifold in your car right now. If you have a trifold or a Fifth Amendment cop card, please put a 1 in the chat. How many people here of the 300 people here have a Fifth Amendment cop card or a trifold in your car or in your wallet? Do you have one of these? Okay. I'm still doing the same thing. If you get a trifold, I'm going to throw a cop card in there for you for free. So I want people to I want to get these cop cards out. And when this batch is gone, the next batch, I won't give away half of them. On this batch, I'm going to give away at least half of them. So if you guys would, oh, sorry about that. Let me share that screen again. I got the wrong one. I will get this up here. This is just, I mean, to be honest with you, this is music. This is pure music to the ears. If you want to hear some music.
Your Honor, I beg you. I've never been in trouble. I'm not going to harm anybody.
Parks tased a handcuffed man twice. Investigators say it followed an October 2021 police chase. Investigators say the driver refused to pull over for speeding and possible window tint violation.
For speeding and a possible window tint violation. Listen to how the state-run media reporter tries to square it. And remember, this is the East Cleveland Police Department that were all arrested. There was was it 13 or 16 pigs were all indicted out of the East Cleveland Police Department because the years and decades of abuse, torture, rape, murder, wrongful prosecution, planting drugs. So this pig right here is part of that East Cleveland dozen that was arrested.
Your Honor, I beg you.
Yeah, you do beg, and you should beg. I hope you go to prison, bro, and I hope they get you in prison. You deserve what you get.
I've never been in trouble. I'm not going to harm anybody.
Oh, he's crying to the Kevin judge, who the cops and the judges work together every day, day in, day out. Cops have meetings with judges in judges' chambers all the time. It's very regular, very normal. So he's talking to a judge that he may know. He may know this guy. They may have sat in the back chambers before and talked. You have no idea if they've had a face-to-face before.
Parks tased a handcuffed man twice. Investigators say it followed an October 2021 police chase.
A police chase for what?
Investigators say the driver refused to pull over for speeding.
He was speeding, and so we chased him down.
Possible window tint
And his window tint was dark.
violation. Still
It was a possible dark violation of window tinting.
handcuffed. Prosecutors say the man was slammed into the back of a police cruiser by Parks. His foot then slammed in the police car's door.
But I'm so sorry. We're at 28 seconds in.
Your Honor, I beg you. I've never been in trouble. I'm not going to harm anybody.
Oh, but you did already. You've never been in trouble for what you've done, but you did harm people already. You're already a horrible jackboot thug pig. Put it in the comments section. JBTP. Jackboot thug pig.
Or
Former East Cleveland police officer in court today.
I like her. She's kind of she's like an attractive, nerdy kind of girl, right?
Asking the judge not to send him to prison.
We heard him crying. Looks like she's done a little too much Botox, though. Can't quite see any movement in the face at all.
Brian Parks pleaded guilty to assaulting a handcuffed man and attempting to tamper with the records. Today, he faced a judge for sentencing. News 5 investigators.
Look at what cowards they are when it comes
a
to
judge
them.
for sentencing.
Look at what a coward he was when there's no torture cuffs and backup and the blue wall of silence and tasers and sticks and guns and abuse. He's just a little lamb. Look. So he's so humbled before the court after he tased someone in handcuffs for having windows that were tinted. In torture cuffs, he tased him twice. So Brian Thomas Parks is not really a good guy. He's a piece of shit. Parasite demon.
5 investigator Scott Newell has been detailing problems inside East Cleveland government for more than a year now. Joining us live in the newsroom, Scott, did Parks please make a difference?
Yeah, well, Brian Parks hoped it would be enough to convince a judge to sentence him to probation. But in the end, the judge told Parks he's heading to prison to show the community he's being held accountable for what he did.
Right. But heading to prison for how long? Heading to prison with limited good time. You know, Joe Biden, when he was pushing for criminal asset forfeiture and civil asset forfeiture, when he was a senator out of Delaware in the 80s and the 90s, what Joe Biden said is that he's the guy that believes you should serve 100% of your jail sentence. Well, then the cop should serve 100% of his jail sentence if Biden thinks that you should serve 100% of yours. And there's his Facebook page.
In court, Brian Parks looks
he looks like a criminal. He looks like a criminal that got caught is what he looks like to me.
What he did.
He looks like a criminal. He looks like a hardened criminal. He looks like an absolute piece of shit. That's what he looks like to me. This is the demon. This is the bad guy. That's really the bad guy who was above the law that nobody could stop. How many bodies did he abuse? How many people did he ruin? How far down the depth chart of abuse does it actually go that we didn't see him do? If he was doing that so cavalierly on camera, what did he do when he wasn't wearing a body camera 10 years ago? This guy's a demon. Don't feel one bit of empathy for him.
In court, Brian Parks looked straight ahead as prosecutors played body camera video showing Parks tase a handcuffed man twice. Investigators say it followed in October.
He's screaming like that, but it doesn't really hurt. We don't know if it really hurts. You know, we see it all the time. People are faking it. Tasers don't really hurt.
For 2021 police chase, investigators say the driver refused to pull over.
He's being dramatic, okay? There's no need to scream that way from 50,000 volts. You'll be just fine. Stop screaming, all right?
For speeding and possible window tint violation.
We see it all the time. People faking for attention.
Still handcuffed, prosecutors say the man was slammed into the back of a police cruiser by Parks.
It didn't really hurt. We don't know if it really hurt. He could have been acting to get attention.
His foot then slammed in the police car's door.
We see it all the time. They're acting out here so people will pay attention to them.
Today in court, that driver, Mario Garcia, said he was appalled by what happened.
I forgive you. I'm telling you, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget this.
Oh no, he's ruined forever. Mario Garcia, welcome to Team DLZ. Reach out, brother. Reach out. I'll get you a cop card and a trifold, so at least you know how to deal with these pigs in the future. And don't you dare tint your windows too dark again. Don't you dare.
For his part, Park said he took responsibility for the assault.
It was dark. It was cold. And
It was dark. It was cold.
fled from the police.
And he fled from the police. Look, and they even put it on there. They put it on in big red writing.
In a corner alley. I couldn't see anything.
But prosecutors say Park's
Wait a minute. We're at 1 minute 52 seconds.
Investigators
You
say
can see him well enough to see him in torture cuffs below you. You can see him in torture cuffs underneath of you.
and twice.
You can hear him screaming as you got your knees on his back as you're tasing him.
Investigators say it followed in October 2020.
Okay, so it looks like you can see him, and that
Claiming in reports Garcia was handcuffed after he.
I couldn't see anything.
But
you couldn't see anything. I just showed that you could. You just clearly could see the man underneath of your knees.
Corner alley. I couldn't see anything.
But prosecutors say Parks tried covering up what he did, claiming in reports Garcia was handcuffed after.
He deserves it. He deserves it. I don't feel bad for him one bit. I wish I could amplify the anxiety and pain that he's going through. I really do. Maybe put 300,000 hertz through his ears and watch his brains melt. I have no empathy for these pigs. None.
Covering up what he did, claiming it.
Look at him going through his stress, and yeah, you're facing your life going to jail, bro, but you actually did it. You actually did it. It's not some bullshit. He grabbed me and pulled me down on top of him. That's why I had to punch him in the face. No. You did it, and we saw it. And now you're going through it, bro, and you deserve it. May God have mercy on your soul, because I'd send you straight to hell.
In reports, Garcia was handcuffed after he was tased.
And what we have here, Your Honor, is a grave abuse of power.
Parks' attorney said her client was caught up in the moment and pointed to a 2019 incident where Parks shot and killed a man while on the job.
It's the things that he witnessed and that he went.
I'm so sorry. What?
An incident where Parks shot.
Have here, Your Honor, is a grave abuse of power.
Parks' attorney said her client was caught up in the moment.
Said her client, the pig, was caught up in the moment
And pointed to a 2019 incident where Parks shot and killed a man while on the job.
So we should feel bad for him. He was caught up in the moment where he murdered someone before. So now we should feel bad for him for being the murderous pig that he is. I'm so confused. The lawyer is crying for mercy because he murdered someone previously. Is that really what we just heard? Is that seriously what we just heard?
Your Honor, is a grave abuse of power.
Parks' attorney said her client was caught up in the moment and pointed to a 2019 incident where Parks shot and killed a man while on the job.
Yeah, that chick literally is calling for mercy for him because he murdered someone previously. You don't get a pass, Parks. You go to prison. You rot. And let's hope the inmates actually find out who you are so you can be dealt with properly for murdering the guy in 2019. You don't get a pass. You may think you can sign up to be a pig, put your little badge on, put your little clown costume on, and that you get a pass. A day of reckoning is coming. And when that day comes and you're on the bottom, there'll be people like me saying, just crush down, because you had no mercy for the people when you had the power. It's turning. It will change. We should have mercy on this pig because he murdered somebody.
It's the things that he witnessed and that he went through in his capacity as a police officer
that made him the murderous jackboot thug pig that he is, that made him the piece of shit that he is today.
That caused him the post-traumatic stress disorder.
Right. So he should not be a cop. His peace officer certificate should be stripped. She's blaming him killing people on the reason why he abuses people. It's so morbid.
And the other mental health issues that he has that led to.
So then why do we need some mental guy that looks like him on the police force? He's a mess.
This offense.
But the victim joined prosecutors asking Judge Cassandra Collier-Williams to send Parks to prison.
But I'm just looking at this and I'm like, I did my time. He should be held to a higher standard.
The judge agreed. Parks, who spent 17 years serving the community, led from the courtroom in handcuffs to serve 6 months in prison.
Oh, there it is, folks. There it is. There it is right there.
Higher standard.
The judge
The higher standard is what?
agreed. Parks, who spent 17 years serving the community, led from the courtroom in handcuffs to serve 6 months in prison.
Okay. How many days? Let's take a guess. Between 1 and 90. No. 6 months is 180 days. No. He could do 10% of the time, 18 days. So let's say between 6 days and 30 days. How many days is he actually going to serve in jail? Between 6 days and 30 days. One said 45 days. Chevy says 20 days. Basil says 60 days. Todd said 45 days. Oh, right there. Other side said he'll be out in 30 days. What's your guess? How many days do you think this pig's going to serve in jail? How many days do you think he's actually going to serve in jail for actually doing the violent, horrible crime? Aside that he murdered someone previously. My guess is less than 10. My guess is by the 8th, 9th, 10th day, they find a reason that the jail is overcrowded and 15 days max. I'm with dog chomps down here. That's where I'm at. I say that within 2 weeks he's out. Jail's overcrowded. Warden said we don't need to house people that don't need to be housed, so we put them on an ankle monitor and send them home. We don't need people in here that we don't feel are a danger to society. We don't feel as though former Officer Dick Suck is a danger to society, and so we're gonna let him go. Yeah, there's the question from 212 NYC. Is he still a cop? Is his peace officer certificate stripped away from him and he's barred from being a pig forever? Is that the case? I'm just wondering. Does he still get his pension? There's a good question right there. That's a good question. That's a real good question. I'm just saying. It seems to me like he got a slap on the wrist, 3 days, and then reemployed in a 200 or 300 unit away. I agree with you there. I saw this yesterday. I wasn't going to show it, but then I was like, you know what? I think I will show it. You know, I'm not for a lawless society. I'm not for a society that's based on no rule of law. I'm the opposite of that. I mean, you guys just got to see how internal affairs worked. Were you shocked? Were you shocked that they took a break when it got to the point where they could prove that he had violated someone's rights? And then they took a break and then they go outside and they have a screaming match about what questions she's asking. And then when they go back in, the first thing she says is, so when did you realize he had a warrant? And what was the warrant for? Attempted murder? Oh, okay. And then the other cop says, okay, interview's over. Thanks. We're living in a holodeck. So I don't know what she was doing, if she was shoplifting or what she was doing exactly. I'm not sure exactly. It's just, well, I'll let you guys watch it and then we can all laugh together.
Scarlet, bro. Yo, that's. Watch out, man. Yo, niggas violating Scarlet, bro. Yo, that's. Yo, that's.
Fall flat on your face, you pig. Fall flat on your face, you jackboot thug pig. You can fall flat on your face. If that's what you're going to do, you can just go ahead and you can do it. You are a jackboot thug pig. And that's just all there is to it. There's no other way to look at it. You're the problem with the country. You're the problem with freedom. You quite literally are the enemy of freedom. It's everything that's wrong with this country is right there. You're seeing it in a nutshell. That these cops are inept, that they're enforcing things that are stupid, that they're just doing what their overlords.
Sunshine,
Oh, I gotta watch the music on this. So this copper right here, let me see what you guys can see. This copper right here. That was too funny, wasn't it? Hamilton Pig convicted twice for mishandling his service gun, captured on a video using his gun like a toy, like a prop, while other cops watch. And they're having a gay old time. I can't play the music. I can't play the sound, but there's sound to it. You got to be you got to be absolutely kidding me. Guy is such a douche. I'm talking such a douche. And these are the people that we hire to be cops. So the people they're hiring to be cops today are the rejects, the people who can't be a cop, that don't have any skills to be a cop. That's the people who they're hiring now to be cops, because no good alpha male will sign up to be a cop. No good alpha male will do it. And why would they? Why would I sign up to be a cop? Why would I sign up to do those policies, procedures, and protocols on people? Why would I agree simply to sign up to be a pig? Because why? Like I reach for the, why would I do it? You don't create a system that's going to help people. You create a system that's going to hurt our society, our culture. I was talking to someone yesterday about this. I said, so let's say that someone does an armed robbery. Let's say they're the worst of people. Let's say that they do the armed robbery. They kick a pregnant woman as they run out the door, and they shoot up into the air. You know, you could kill somebody shooting up in the air like that. And so then I say, okay, fine. What are we going to do with that person? Well, you're going to arrest them. And then what are you going to do with them? Okay, you're going to charge them with crimes, and you're going to put them in a dungeon for 10 years for robbing a place, smacking a pregnant woman, shooting a gun up in the air. We're going to put them in prison for 10 years. Okay, great. Make society a lot better for 10 years. But then what happens? The guy gets out of prison. He's 10 years behind. He was criminal going in. Now he's abused and criminal. We taught him nothing. He learned nothing. The only way he got wiser was over years of time. The things he learned and believed were mostly old wives' tales and misinformation from other prisoners. He's 10 years behind us. He can't even get the latest update on an iPhone. He doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to use his iPhone. He's 10 years behind. He gets out. He's a drag on who? His family, his friends, anybody who would ever associate with him. He's a drag, or he's homeless. He's a felon. He can't get a job. Is that the guy that kidnaps your kid? Is that the guy who rapes your wife? Yep. Is that the guy who burns down your house because you have a house and he doesn't? Yep. Is that the guy who does suicide by cop? Yep. What did we do? We locked him up for 10 years. I agree. He doesn't belong on the streets in that mental state where he has no education at all. He can't solve a basic algebra equation. If x equals 6 and y equals 3, x minus y equals consequences. If you can't substitute 6 from 3 and equal 3 in your brain immediately with that equation, then you'll do something impulsive and stupid because your brain doesn't actually calculate the consequences for your action. They run up to a guy, he's in torture cuffs, great big dumb guy, and they go run up to him. They got a camera on him as the cop is arresting him. He just robbed the liquor store, and they run up to him and they say, "Hey, Billy, why'd you do it? Why'd you rob the liquor store?" And he goes, "I don't know." He doesn't know. In his mind, he was going to get the liquor, get the money, and drive away. His brain never calculated consequences. He didn't have any upbringing. What are we doing? We're paying people to guard his skin so he can get out and be worse for you and I, for our culture and our society and our families. As we bring in illegal immigrants to take our jobs, we let the dumbest people out of prison that were locked up when we could have fixed them. And that's the society that we're living in today. That's the exact society that we're living in today. Oh, is that right? I saw this. I didn't see this whole thing. I only saw it swing by my channel. I was driving by and I saw this pop up and I wanted to watch it, but I didn't want to watch it alone. So I was like, maybe I'm going to wait and I'll watch this with you guys together. I only have so many minutes in a day. So over on the civil rights channel, oh wow, we're about to catch him, and he's got a great channel though. This guy's got a great channel. Cops kick dying man out of ambulance. I think I covered this when it was raw.
But he will not get out of our truck.
Okay.
And he's got to go.
Sir, it's a wrap. Looks like they want you out.
I couldn't breathe.
They want you out, sir.
So I'm here today to share that I have just learned about an incident that has me deeply concerned. Exactly 2 days ago, I became aware of an incident that occurred on November 30th, in which an individual in the care of EMTs was on the way to the hospital. And for some reason, this individual was made to exit the ambulance on a city street.
When you told us you had pain from drinking water, and then you came in and you jumped at me and my brother and demanded oxygen, you would not let go of me.
You'll figure out too if you can't breathe.
I hear you. I probably try to control myself a little bit better. All right, sir. Come on. No games. Get out.
Wow, man. That's how far we've gone. Even the EMTs are in on this horrible system of oppression.
I was flabbergasted to learn that this incident occurred on November 30th. The person involved passed away from the health issue just before Christmas. And I was not.
Oh my God. Oh, dude.
From the health issue just before Christmas. And I was not pleased.
Wow.
A man who was suffering from a medical emergency who was kicked out of an ambulance in Rochester and collapsed on the sidewalk right in front of paramedics and his police officers before ultimately dying. This, according to the mayor, left him flabbergasted. Is there a constitutional right to not be kicked out of an ambulance under these circumstances? Let's look at the footage and then we'll discuss.
That footage will show an ambulance stopping on a city street. It shows Rochester police officers being called by EMTs to this ambulance, but it shows a person having trouble breathing and being asked to leave the ambulance and wait on the street.
I don't know what's wrong with him, but he will not get out of our truck.
Okay.
And he's got to go.
Wow. You know, remember, people who sign up for jobs and are getting jobs aren't necessarily humanitarians. They may just be getting a job because they need the money, like this woman here.
Trouble breathing and being asked to leave the ambulance and wait on the street.
I don't know.
So if he's having a hard time breathing, why would he be asked to leave the ambulance? Shouldn't the ambulance make the care of a person in need the number one priority, regardless of their personal feelings against the person?
I don't know what's wrong with him, but he will not get out of our truck.
Okay.
And he's got to go.
Sir, it's a wrap. Looks like they want you out.
I couldn't breathe.
They want you out, sir.
No fighting
We
this
tried
time.
to help,
I'm just trying
honey,
to get him
but
out.
the way that you got in here and the way that you just looked at us, that was no.
All right, sir. Come on. Come on.
So that pain he's feeling in the shoulder and the neck right there, that's on the right side. Is that stroke or heart attack?
No games. Get out.
He's not playing a game. He said he couldn't breathe, but listen to the pig and how he's been trained to talk to people. He's been trained. He takes control of us and controls us.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. You told us you had pain from drinking water, and then you came in and you jumped at me and my friend and demanded oxygen. You would not let go of me.
247, same traffic.
It makes a lot of sense. Give me some oxygen. And he's got a hold of her shirt. Give me some oxygen. Help me. It makes a lot of sense to me.
47, same traffic.
He grabbed my partner's
Mhm.
I was freaking out.
All right.
You freak out too if you can't breathe.
I hear you. I probably try to control myself a little bit better.
What an asshole. How do you know how you're going to react when you're choking to death?
I'm not going to grab on anybody.
You grab on people every day, you lying jackboot thug pig. Put in the comment section, JBTP, jackboot thug pig.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm trying to grab for the door.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Okay. Okay. Now's your chance. All right. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Is that all you guys want, though? Then just no. Just grab that yellow handle right there, and that should help you out.
277, all set for cars. Did you take me to the hospital, man?
No.
We tried to take you, but honey, that was unacceptable.
Why can't he go?
There was no reason.
Why can't he go to the hospital? I'm so confused. Will you take me to the hospital? And she said, we tried. If he wants to go now, you got a police escort. Go to the hospital. These are services for us. These are services for the citizens of this country. The EMT and the fire department and the police department are services. You just heard him say.
No.
We tried to.
Did you take me to the hospital, man?
That's it. Take him to the hospital right then and there. Cop goes, okay, jump in the back of my car. It's a cage, but I'll take you straight away to the hospital.
No.
We tried to take
And he says, no. What kind of country are we living in here? We've allowed this system.
But honey, that was unacceptable. There was no reason for that.
You're not hurt, bitch. There's nothing wrong with you. Honey? You're calling him honey? You're walking him out into the cold when he's saying he can't breathe and he needs to go to the hospital. You're telling him to get out. Don't call him honey as you do it.
There was no issue.
There's a yellow handle right next to you. All right, or not.
Or don't offer a hand. Don't help the man at all. Look, there's 4 cops all standing around ready to hurt him.
That's it. That's all you drop.
You
Okay.
want your water?
Sidewalk's right over there.
Look at all those cops that are there to get a guy out of an ambulance who's asking for help. Our system is so broken, and we've allowed these dumb shits with high school educations and no real direction to create the rules for pigs. And they have an autonomous organization that we don't get to see inside of. When was the last time your police department was audited? I'm talking about financially audited, where the money is going. It's going into garbage like this.
Because he's freaking out. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's got to go. I don't know what he's going to do, but we're not.
I tried to take you, but honey, that was unacceptable.
Rochester, New York.
So they made him get out of the ambulance, and he walks over to this bench, and he tries to sit down on the bench, and he's clearly struggling. And very quickly after trying to sit on the bench, he ends up just falling off the bench and just going flat on the ground. Meanwhile, all these police officers are standing around. All of these medical personnel are standing around. And eventually, what's like a minute or two, they, observe that he's on the ground and they start to go over to him and finally begin to give him some medical assistance.
Is that blood or is that? It's blood. Oh, I don't know what the hell happened. He was laying on the ground. I'm gonna find out now. Okay.
This is your job. Text me. This is your job.
Bye. Boss. Oh, don't worry, Bria. All right.
Now he's boss.
Your phone.
What does he have? Cooties or something? I thought you had murder gloves on for a reason. Roll the guy over.
What happened? Just lay down.
Yeah, bitch. That's what you just did. He's dying.
Grab my monitor. Your car locked? It's unlocked.
Wow. I hope she gets fired. I hope she loses her medical license. I really do. I hope she gets fired.
Monitor and drug box.
Here's what we know at this point.
That is just disgusting. That is truly just disgusting. That is disgusting. Ooh, I can just feel it burning inside of me right now. What in the holy hell are we watching here?
Grab my monitor. Your car locked? It's unlocked. Monitor and drug box.
Here's what we know at this point. We know that police were called to the ambulance to address some type of situation. We also know that the police were there to hold this medical scene. And I can tell you that even though this was not a police incident, because we are not getting information from AMR as of yet, although we have issued a letter and we have subpoenaed records,
subpoena the record of the employee who said, "Yeah, honey, sorry. We tried to help you, but instead we're going to kick you out and then you're going to collapse. And then we're going to realize, oh shit, this man actually needed to go to the hospital." Moments before he collapsed on the ground and blood is pouring out of his mouth, he said, "Please take me to the hospital." And they all said no. Why? Why did they say no? For what reason?
Asking our professional standard service from the police department to also help with this investigation, because even though this was a medical scene, there are always lessons to be learned, particularly as it relates to what type of ambulance services or medical services our community are experiencing. I have asked AMR to conduct its own in-depth investigation into what happened that night. I want to understand why they chose to call the police. I want to understand why personnel required someone in distress to be removed from an ambulance instead of being taken directly to the hospital. We must get to the bottom of this. We must understand how and why this occurred, and we must identify processes and safeguards to ensure that this does not ever happen again. And most important, we must make sure that those who are caring for city residents provide them with the same level of care and compassion that they will provide their own loved ones.
The care and compassion that they would provide their own mothers. That is the entire problem with policing in America and government for the most part. So the problem here is going to be getting a lawsuit to a jury. And I'll explain why that is. But if you could, this would be so powerful. I mean, you just look at this surveillance footage of this scene where you have this poor guy just laying there on the ground. You have the medical personnel in an ambulance right there. You have, I don't know how many police officers. They're right there. And they're just standing around. They clearly see him, but they don't care.
They
just stand around and do nothing.
That's right, Brian. They don't care. I mean, he got it. He nailed it. They literally don't care that you're dying in front of them. That's the system that's been created, that we are subjects and perpetrators and perps, but we're not humans. The subject. You'll hear cops say, well, the subject was going, the subject, you mean Tom or Mary or Bill or Wakan, whatever their name is? You can't call them by their name? No, they call them subject. And Brian nailed it. He nailed it. They don't care.
If you could get that in front of a jury, all you would have to do is play this footage, and it would just be so powerful. You wouldn't even need to say anything. You wouldn't need to have any audio to it. You just play it and you let everyone watch it in silence, just like this.
Yep.
So generally, police officers do have a duty under several amendments of the Bill of Rights to provide access to medical care to individuals that are in their custody, and that being the key point. So post arrest, police officers, if they're aware of some serious medical condition, have a duty under the Fourth Amendment to provide access to medical care, such as if this individual had been arrested first, that clearly would apply here under the Fourth Amendment. Even after arrest into what's called the pretrial detainee phase, there is a right under the 14th Amendment to have access to medical care under a slightly different standard if the police officers or the jail officials are aware of some serious medical need. And even prisoners in prisons under the 8th Amendment have a similar right to access medical care under, again, a slightly different standard. But here the problem is this guy does not appear to have been in the custody of the police officers. He was not under arrest. This is not post arrest. There may be some argument that could be made to try to say that he was in their custody at the time, but it doesn't appear so from this footage and from what I've seen so far. There may be some state law remedy available, but unfortunately, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that police officers have no general duty to protect you. They have no general duty to even get you an ambulance if they see you laying on the side of the road. And
so those cases are going to be the 1981 case of Warren versus District of Columbia and the 2005 case of Gonzalez versus Castle Rock. Both of those are Supreme Court cases that both clearly state and illuminate that the police have no duty to protect us at all whatsoever, that they are law enforcers, that they are not rights protectors. And that's why the system has to be burned to the ground and started from scratch again. Because as long as we have these philosophies in place that they are law enforcers and not rights protectors, as long as they're calling themselves law enforcement instead of rights protectors, then we have a problem. Because as we get more and more into a digital era, pretty soon what will happen is the digital era will be used against us. And if we catch you doing any crimes on camera, we're law enforcers, so we'll enforce laws on you. They're already starting to do this in New York and California, where they're doing cameras on top of lights, on top of street lights, and catch you for speeding and send you tickets in the mail. It's not going to work. The people are going to revolt, just like they did for stoplight cameras in California that are now banned. And we're going to do the same thing in California when it comes to these street lights. So they have absolutely no obligation to protect us. We're paying for an organization to oppress us. Your tax dollars are spent on wars, bombs, cops, and cages. None of it is spent for you. None of it. We're living in a complete dystopian police state.
And that's unfortunate.
And that's
because they're supposed to be here to protect and serve. But when they don't do that, when we try to sue them, they will bring up that U.S. Supreme Court case that says, oh, but we have no legal duty to protect you. We have no legal duty to serve you. And unfortunately, I think that's what might happen here, unless there's some fantastic legal gymnastics that are taken by a lawyer on behalf of this family. And I hope that's the case. I'll try to follow along to see what happens here. So please subscribe both here and at the blog at the.
I'm subscribed, Brian. I'm subscribed to all your channels, man. So I'll drop the link for Brian's channel in this. I mean, we have about the same amount of subscribers, so I'm sure he has all the subscribers that I do. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys have a link to get to him if you want to watch his channel. I'm subscribed. He's both a lawyer and a journalist, so he's really, really a talented guy. You know, what we can do collectively is make sure that we invoke our rights and that we lead a peaceful coalition of people, hopefully constituents one day when I run for governor and I win it and change policy from the top down. We don't want to try to fight these guys with weapons. We don't want to try to fight the cops with guns. And we don't want it's going to end up a bloodbath. Even if we could beat the cops in a real war, hundreds of thousands of people are going to die. And we don't want that. You don't want to see blood in the streets. Remember, guys that they train at 18 and brainwash them that they're killers and they're going to go over and be killers and they're the most vicious killing force in the world. They go over to Iraq and to the Middle East and they kill a bunch of people. Then they come back and they blow their own brains out. So killing people, you may think that you're equipped. Brain's not made to kill people. It's just not. People whose brains are made to kill people, we call them insane lunatics. People who are born, John Brown, a war hero from the Civil War, from the Revolutionary War, he would have been a psychopath today. People, you're not wired to kill people. You're just not. So we don't want to go into a war with the cops in a physical guns and tanks. We don't want to do that. They're preparing themselves for that war already. We want to win over the hearts and minds of our Kevin and Karen, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, best friends. You want to win the Kevin and Karen over. Don't delete the Karen in your life. Turn them. Turn them. Your job is to turn the Karen or Kevin in your life. I give you this assignment now. Every single one of you, all 300 people in here now, you have a Kevin or a Karen in your life. Turn them. Start slow. Realize it's going to take a year or 2 years. Turn them. Turn them. If we don't turn the Kevins and the Karens, remember, we didn't just have a revolutionary war against England in 1774. That wasn't it. We had a war against England 1774, 1775, 1776. We had that war against England by a article being written that was called Common Sense by Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine, with his thesis called Common Sense, won over the Karens and Kevins who wanted to stay with England and didn't want to break off and form their own country. That pamphlet that he wrote called Common Sense is what actually was the catalyst for us to have a revolutionary war against England and for us to get the freedom that our country so desperately needed. And that's where we are today. You have to win over the Karen or the Kevin in your life. You have to win them over. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a Fifth Amendment cop card. If you have a cop card, start with this and go to your Kevin or Karen and say, how come you think there's a guy that manufactures these credit cards for people to carry in their wallet? They only pull out the yellow and black when there's a cop in their face. Why do you think that is? Look how many people have a Fifth Amendment cop card in their wallet, or they have a trifold in their car. The reason why is because this is your protection against the police. You take this, you go to your Kevin or Karen, aunt, uncle, grandparent, mother, brother, sister, lover, cousin, whatever they are, and you say, people are buying these and they have these in their wallet for the specific time they are forced to interact with the cops. Let me show you a video. And slowly but surely work on that Kevin or Karen. Work on that person. If we don't win over enough Karens and Kevins and reprogram them from the Andy Griffith Show and reprogram them from Law and Order and Chips and all the other cop shows that made cops these amazingly wonderful, beautiful, enlightened people who were kind and empathetic and courageous and had honor and duty and integrity, we can now see with the body cameras that that's completely false. That most people who sign up to be a pig, they sign up to do it because they can't do anything else. They can't go into any other occupation. They don't have the skill sets, the time, the patience, or the aptitude to do the job. Whereas if you sign up to be a pig, all you have to do is take orders and hurt people. If you're willing to follow orders and hurt people, you can sign up to be a pig, which is why the membership of pigs is so far down. It's all the way down, 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 down. Do you see what I'm saying? We have got to win these people over. Your Fifth Amendment cop card's a great start. You have it in your wallet. There's so many hundreds of people that have the Fifth Amendment cop card now. I know because I've given away hundreds of these. I've given people cop cards who emailed me and said, hey, can I have a cop card? You guys know who you are. You're in the crowd. People have emailed me and said, give me a cop card for free. And I sent it. Why did I do it? It cost me money to send it. $5, $6 to get this. By the time it gets to your door, I spent $5 or $6 to get this to you. So why'd I give it to you for free? How come? It's a good question, right? Why'd I give this to you for free? So that you would use it and you would share it with other people, and that you would share with other people that were living in a police state. This is everything that I can do. This is everything that I can do from sitting here in this position. This is everything I can do. I mean, I recently had to move my studio. I got doxxed and people, all kinds of crazy trolls. You have no idea what I've been dealing with. That's why I had to move my studio. I was in Vegas. I'm not there anymore. I had to move. I had no choice. I had to move. It wasn't what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, I had to move. So, but that lets you know my resolve. I will not stop. I will not quit. I will not back down. We don't stop. We don't quit. We never say die. We never give up. Ever, 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 ever. Don't you ever give up the fight. Don't you ever give up the fight. You fight the fight until the fight is won. You never, ever, ever give up. Because if you give up, we leave a generation of people here that have no chance, that have no way to fight back. Remember, we are Gen X and boomers and some older millennials. The kids today don't know what it's like to be told to go outside and play. They have no idea. They don't know what true freedom means because they were never taught and they never got to experience it. We are the last bastion of freedom. We truly, truly are the last bastion of freedom. And if we don't fight for it and we don't teach others what we're dealing with, then we're going to lose the freedom that our founding fathers fought for.
Police officer arrested in also breaking at 4, a Milwaukee police officer arrested in a child abuse investigation. Officers responded to a hospital Wednesday night. They say a 7-year-old suffered what they describe as non-fatal injuries. They would not elaborate on how severe those injuries are. Investigators arrested the officer. They did not provide the officer's relationship to the 7-year-old. They say charges will be referred to the Milwaukee County District Attorney.
This says gets arrested, proceeds to urinate like a fountain. That's what this says real quick. Let me just see if this is going to show private parts. If it's going to show private parts, I can't show it. Oh, it shows no private parts. It shows no private parts here. Just double suring. Just because, you know, YouTube would love to delete my channel. He's peeing out the top of his pants, so there's no, you don't get to see anything.
I'll be out 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I'm coming home.
I'll give you a copy of this, don't worry. You're a star. I'll take all your details.
You're under arrest. You're under arrest.
This has got to be a first, isn't it? I filmed him doing all the instruction. I'm the one who filmed it in.
If I don't bang you up, my family's going to bang you up.
I think we're finished. So wait, give him a shake.
Dude's out there, man. I mean, I don't really understand that. Like if I was to get arrested, I would not want to be sitting there. I would not want to be sitting there peeing like a fountain. I would want to probably stop that. I'd probably want to stop peeing like a fountain. You know, I saw this coming up, and this is only a 1 minute short. And I you know, we saw this in Kansas where the pigs raided that, and this is a 1 minute short.
And it's clear as you watch this, she just gets progressively more stressed out.
She was quite upset. She was quite angry.
This is my house, okay? And I don't want you in my house.
She was lying in bed when I got there. Would you want to eat here in your bedroom? You want to eat out in the living room? You want to eat at the kitchen table? And she said, I don't know. I don't feel so good. And she died in the middle of that sentence.
Someone died as a result of this raid, and that was Joanne Meyer.
Devastated that her last moments were one of tears and fear and anger.
She told the officers, this is going to kill me, and you'll be guilty of murder.
I can't wait to see that. Looks good.
Earlier this month for rape and sodomy has died. David Love was accused of sexually abusing a retired police officer in Radcliffe arrested earlier this month for rape and sodomy has died. David Love was accused of sexually abusing a 14-year-old. State police say Love also admitted to having child pornography on his tablet and sending it on social media. The Hardin County Deputy Coroner says Love died at the hospital this morning, but no cause of death has been released.
I'm going to guess it was suicide. Hopefully he offed himself, so that we don't have to deal with the disgusting pig of a person that he had become. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't have any empathy for child predators. I don't have any empathy at all whatsoever. Not even kind of, sort of, or anything else. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh my God. Oh, I can't. This is. I'll put the link down in the description. I can't show this video. I'm sorry. If I show it, they'll just demonetize my stream, and so no one gets to see all the other stuff that we covered today. I'll put this link down here for you guys, and then you guys can tell me. You guys can watch it and tell me what you think. You guys know, I mean, look, part of the likes, comments, and views it's important. We have to get likes, comments, and views and shares. It's in the zeitgeist of today. So I'm actually going to post this link and tell you that I can't show it here, but you can, there's the link right there. You can watch that. I'll put it into a short. I'll send it off to my editor and have him put that into a short. I'll show part of it. So that's a 14-year-old girl. That's all the weight of her. She's maybe 60, 70 pounds, maybe 80 pounds at the most. She's absolutely tiny.
Stop.
And look how much bigger he is than her. This is the video I put in the link. I won't be able to show the whole video.
Stop, bro. What's your password?
Look what he's doing to her. She's tiny. 14-year-old. So that's as far as I can show you right there. Because then he starts punching her in the face. Right there. He starts decking her in the face right there. Here's the link right here. If you guys want to watch it, you can watch it. Obviously, I can't show the whole thing. He starts punching her in the face right there. Just so you know. Right. First he jerks her around, puts his 160-pound body on top of her 60-pound body. And yeah, that's if you guys can click on the link, come back if you can. Appreciate it. If you guys can come back, that'd be great. But at the same time, you know. So what else came out today was I believe it was episode 21 of American Patriot. So let's check this bad chicken out. This is the 21st episode in my series called American Patriot. I will drop the link down in the comment section. This is episode 21. This was 700 views 3 hours ago. If you can watch, you can easily binge watch all 21 of these episodes really quickly. This is really a fun series. The editor's done a hell of a job. And so this premiered today.
Morning, Mom.
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Mom.
Come on, pause, sucker. Okay. All right. So this is my 21st episode of American Patriot. I'll try not to interrupt it. Here's the link to the channel if you want to go over and watch all 20 episodes before this one. Each episode's about 10 minutes.
It is your son. Good morning, Mom. It is your son. I'm calling you from Ohio. I'm going to meet Sarah Page at the courthouse, and I'm going to file for power of attorney for her. Now, listen, I have no idea if this is going to work. I do know that I'm a natural game changer, so I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring, pull some 14th Amendment stuff out. I have no idea if it's going to work, but it's going to be fun trying. There's so much corruption here. There's so many people who have reached out to me. I can't pick up my phone because I don't know if I'm going to pick up the phone and someone's going to have a story for me or someone's going to tell me to go F myself. It's split. There's two Americas, people who get harassed and targeted by the cops and people who don't. Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm fine. I'm safe. I'm just doing what I do. I'm doing what I was born to do. I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Bye.
So tell me about your father. I'm waiting for Sarah here. We're gonna do her power of
He actually
attorney
just got locked up and sent away for 9 months, and
I got a
the
video.
cops actually beat the shit out of him. I got the video. I gave that to him as well. I don't associate with Blankenship and McKnight, and I don't support what they did either.
Was it Blankenship McKnight who beat him up?
Yeah, I have that's in the video.
Pull it up. Let's take a look at the video. This is brutal. Come over here in the shade so people can see this. Is there volume on this or?
No, there's no sound on it.
Watch this. Watch how savagely they just immediately attack. It's absolutely incredible. So you're going to see her dad is going to appear somewhere right over here in a second. There's the clerk. There's the clerk right there of the.
It's actually my mom that they also arrested as well.
Oh, they arrested your mom at the same time for no reason. Sounds like Sarah Page getting arrested with Tim because she won't give the name. So there they are. There they are right there.
And then they start punching him in the face for absolutely no reason.
So let it play. I'm just going to watch it play. So they're on top of him. You got two guys on top of him, McKnight and Blankenship.
And he's small. He has a hurt hip from it as well. He rocked 2 black eyes because of it.
So let me ask you a question. Your dad at this point, he had assaulted somebody, right? He had punched somebody in the face and was beating up children. Is that why he was attacked like this?
No. He had a warrant.
Oh, what was the warrant for?
Not checking in with
Not check. So he didn't check in with his probation officer, and so they went to the 7-Eleven Quickie Mart. Is that where it was?
Clark's. Actually, Clark's up here on Park Avenue.
It was Clark's up on Perks Avenue. Okay.
Yep.
And then they just attacked him.
Yep.
They said you have a warrant, and then it was an attack.
Yeah, basically.
So
He just asked him. He kept asking him to take it outside because I worked there.
okay,
I asked him
you
twice.
work at that store.
Yes, I was assistant manager there.
Yeah, yeah.
I lost my job. I went to jail.
You lost your job and you went to jail. Oh, that's you in the
Because
video.
of him too. Yeah.
Oh, that's you in the video.
That's my
why I'm here.
mom.
So
Yeah.
your husband had a warrant and they took you to jail
They took me to jail for obstruction because I asked them to take it outside.
because you said to take it outside. They arrested you. Who arrested you?
McKnight, or not McKnight, Blankenship. But
Blankenship
McKnight,
arrested you.
McKnight gave the orders to arrest me.
McKnight gave the orders.
Yeah,
to
you
arrest
said in the video, he throws his hand up and he said, fucking cuff her and take her too. And I ended up getting 2 felony
My
charges
dad
out
is
of it.
You got 2 felonies,
Mhm.
but I didn't see you do anything in the.
Exactly.
You were just standing there. What happened with your felonies?
Well, one got thrown out and the other one was brought down to a misdemeanor.
And you pled out.
Yeah, just so I don't
You
have to
pled
come
out.
back down here.
So you don't have to go. You can't take a plea deal. You got to fight till. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm so sorry this happened.
So now I have no job.
Now you have no job and you have a misdemeanor on your record.
Yeah.
For telling the cops to take her husband outside as they attacked him. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You guys good? You all right? I'll shake your hand. Thanks. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's go, Sarah. I appreciate it. Thank you. How you guys doing? How you going to the clerk's office to file power of attorney? Is the clerk's office right here? Or was right. I mean, you guys don't want to check me for weapons or anything? No, I'm not carrying. You guys know that. I'm law and order, man.
I know you're law and order.
I'm for law and order, brother. 100%. For rule of law. That's what I'm for. And for transparency. All right. You got that zip drive? Okay. How are you guys doing today? Good. Could I get a power of attorney form? You guys have that here? Or, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. You just got a piece of paper here, and I'll just go ahead and I'll make a power of attorney form right here, right now. And then, do we turn in our evidence here for the trial for running a stoplight? Is that where we turn our evidence in here?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So just so you guys know, the 14th Amendment gives you the right to contract. You can contract with any person. I can contract with any of these women here. I can contract with her. You have the right to contract with anybody you want, just so you know. So when I write an official contract that's power of attorney, it's legal and binding because we have the right to contract, and the government, it's really none of their business unless they don't want to get taxes out of it. Just write your address right there. So what they try to do is they try to separate people who have knowledge about the law and people who understand their constitutional rights from people who don't have knowledge about the law and don't know their constitutional rights. It's a big game. And last night, the Lawrence County, the Chesapeake, all the different police agencies in the tri-state area had a secret meeting last night that I got informed. There's informants everywhere. There's informants in this office. There's informants in every office that are calling me and telling me the inside information. Are you all clerks or are you all working reception?
Clerks.
You're clerks. Deputy clerk. So does someone want to witness this signature so that we can have an official contract here according to the courthouse as well?
Oh, I'm not a notary.
You don't have to be a notary.
Notary expired.
You're not going to get fired, honey.
I said expired.
Oh, I see. Oh. Just sign right there, hon, and I'm going to sign right here. So there's the zip drive we're turning in. This is the official, the body cams that show that Blankenship stalked Sarah for 10, 15 minutes before he finally pulled her over, harassed her for 45 minutes while she was trying to get a job. So there that is.
I tried contacting Mayor Sam Cramlett for almost 2 months after the very first incident.
Mhm.
I left multiple messages. I left notes with the clerk in his office. I tried to email, never had nobody contact me back. And that went on for about 4 months up until they finally dismissed my case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you guys happy I'm getting rid of the few bad apples? I mean, is everybody here happy about that? Because there's only a few bad cops. I mean, there's only a few. There's only a couple bad cops, right? So everybody seems to be overjoyed that I'm exposing the bad apples. Or is that not true?
I don't know. I haven't been following you, so I didn't know.
Oh, you haven't seen those videos, huh?
No, I've seen bits and pieces.
Oh, did you see Sarah's story? Did you see her whole story? Because those would be the bad apples. If there are good cops, I've never met one, but if there are good cops, then, you know, I guess just the bad ones are harassing her. Everybody seems really happy about it so far in this town. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. Let's go talk to Sam Cramlett. Let's see what Sam has to say. Well, this is nice. Just a nice little office here. Oh, I'd like to talk to Sam if I could, please. He's out to lunch? Okay. Where's he at lunch at? Okay. Okay.
I don't know wherever he wants to eat.
Okay, cool. Then I will.
Leave your name and number.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. I'd love
Do you
to.
mind writing it down?
Oh, I don't mind one bit. No problem.
You're going around to these cities that you're not even from. Like, nobody asked for you to come here.
No, no,
and
she
stirring
did.
up trouble.
No, no, she did.
Nobody
She,
around here will help us.
mayor, she contacted the sheriff. She went to the district attorney. She went to her public pretender. So what should she do if she's being harassed by people? What should she do? No, no. I mean, you said I'm a bitch. If it happened to you, what would you do? Would you want my help? If it happened.
Not yours.
Oh, but you called me a bitch. I didn't call you any names. Right. Oh, don't worry. Typical. I wouldn't. Did you see that? Hey, let me listen. I'll be at Peddler's Cafe if you want to come down. I'll give you a fair shake to say your side of the story. Then they grabbed her and said, "Come hide, come hide." Who is she? Does she?
I have no idea.
Just so you guys know, Sam Cramlett was in the office right here. So right here, what we see when there's like a glitch right here. Any names? Right. Oh, don't worry. I wouldn't. There it was. Sam Cramlett was hiding around the corner. The current mayor of Ironton was hiding around the corner. And they grabbed her and said, "Come here, come here, come here." They were all hiding around the corner because you can't see around the right side of that office. Did you see that? Hey, let me listen. I'll be at Peddler's Cafe if you want to come down. I'll give you a fair shake to say your side of the story. Then they grabbed her and said, "Come hide, come hide." Who is she? Does she?
I have no idea.
She looks like one of the daughters or one of those people. She walked by and called me a bitch.
Her parents must have raised her well.
You know, a lot of people have said a lot of things to me.
And you know what? There's going to come a time in her life that she's going to need somebody, and then she's going to feel like I did when she reached out to everybody and nobody helped her.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason nobody in the tri-state will help anyone is because they all work together. If you decide to go across the river next,
There's nothing they're going to do to me because I've got dozens of screenshots of those same people who are the good cops saying that they should follow me around and arrest me. I posted it on my Facebook. See, what you good cops don't understand, the one saying I should be arrested, is that I'm here to help you get rid of the bad apples so that we can respect you guys. And by the way, if I get pulled over anywhere, you can expect a civil rights lawsuit against you. Just like I took power of attorney for her, you guys, I'm going to sue you because I have power of attorney now, meaning I don't have to be a lawyer. I can sue and I can file it myself.
they don't have dash cams in any of the vehicles here, and it's because they can get away with saying that people did things that they didn't. Because if there were dash cams, that would hold them responsible for what they're pulling people over for.
I have no less than 5 people. Did you hear what she just said? Does this not make total and complete and utter sense?
And it's because they can get away with saying that people did things that they didn't.
Have to be a lawyer. I can sue and I can
Get away with
myself.
They don't have dash cams.
They don't have dash cams. And there's Ironton right there in the on the marquee.
Any of the vehicles here.
In any of the vehicles there.
And it's because they can
And it's because
get away with saying that people did things that they didn't.
it's they can get away with saying people did things that they didn't do. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Dash cams are real cheap.
Because if there were dash cams, that would hold them responsible for what they're pulling people over for.
Well, it would if we actually got the dash cam material. If we actually got to see the dash cams without having to file a court lawsuit. No less than 5 people have contacted me and said that the cops went the wrong way or sped up at 100 miles an hour to catch them down the one-way street.
They're lying.
They're lying. Okay, so where's Peddler's Cafe?
All the way down 3rd Street.
How far down does it go? Down here?
Yeah, it runs the full length of town all
Peddler's Cafe will bar the entrance and not let me in.
the way down. Peddler's on the left.
So go down just on this street right here, and it's on the left-hand side.
Yep.
Where are you going right now?
Home.
You're gonna go home? Okay. You're more than welcome to come to Peddler's, but people might talk trash to you.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm used to that.
So now I can really help you.
Thank you, Chille.
You see what her shirt says? You matter. You matter. So that I'm out. So that girl who just walked by and called me a bitch, how come Sarah doesn't matter? Why does her being abused and harassed under the color of law, why does that matter so much? Because you have the 14th Amendment that gives you equal protection under the law and the right to contract. This is the fundamental principles of America. And that's why these dirty swine are having emergency meetings to talk about me. Well, why are you having emergency meetings? Because I haven't done anything wrong. I'm literally a journalist and a civil libertarian, and I'm here to try to get justice, to get rid of the few bad apples. Why would you be upset about that? I couldn't imagine it. I can't imagine why you'd be mad about that. I just want to give you your chance.
Listen.
He's not worth it.
No, chill.
I'm
Listen.
worth it, and you're worth it too. We're all worth it.
No, I apologize.
Don't
You're
you
right.
worry about your
I
voice.
no, I'll
I'll
give
give
it
you
to
a
you.
chance, okay?
It aggravates me because
you
I
may
love
go.
these
I
kids.
understand how you
You
feel.
were told to turn it off and you didn't listen.
I'm gonna let's just go across the street.
No,
'Cause
you're leaving.
I'm gonna go right over there because
You're getting off the property
I don't
right now.
I don't want. This series, if you guys have not seen the whole series, it's like slow taffy. I'm slowly laying it out, and it is about to explode. The series of Ironton and what I've done and what happens. I went to Ironton in March of 2022, and when I was there were several cops there. One was named Blankenship. One was named Jonathan Spooljarek. One was named Bradley Spooljarek. There was a chief of police named Pam Wagner there. And those 4 cops were there when I was there in March. After I left, those 4 cops are no longer cops in that area. Jonathan Spooljarek is resigned. Bradley Spooljarek's in jail. I accused him publicly of being a drug dealer. A short time later, he was arrested for being a drug dealer. I told Pam Wagner that she'll resign. She did. And Blankenship recently resigned this year from Ironton Police Department. So you definitely want to watch that series because it's going to heat up. And you're going to see that I slowly but surely knock them down. Jeff Lawless, Kevin Waldo, as soon as I get, not far, Waldo. I'm not far. I'm right behind you, man. Eventually, I'm going to get the documents I need to prove what you're doing. Eventually, we get the DOJ to audit you and see where that money for the cash for rehab for people is. The prosecutors and the judges and the county commissioners have set up a rehab scam in Ironton, Ohio, where they are getting federal money through a grant writer, and then they're getting the grant money, and then everything, they're arresting people and then sending them to rehab. Rehabs are like 20, 30 grand a month. That money's coming from the feds and from the state, and they're siphoning off of the taxpayers so that the county commissioners, the judges, and the prosecutors can all get rich. And they are. So that's what I uncovered there. And you got the Lawrence County Land Bank that is distributing out land to different people in power. It's all a giant scam in Ironton, Ohio. Part of the reason why I carry a gun with me 24/7 is because of what I've uncovered in Ironton, Ohio. That's why I'm always packing. That's why I always have a gun. So when you expose corruption and you expose the jackboot thug pigs, you always have to watch your back. Always. That's why there's cameras set up. That's why I have listening devices on my body. You never trust these pigs, ever. There'll be a trail. If anything happens to me, find the cameras, find the audio. There will be a trail. There's a trail. So it's intense stuff. So you want to watch that whole series because we're at episode 21. By the time we get to episode 30 or 40, it's really starting to unravel. And so Anyway, what's going on? What is going on? What is going on? How's everybody doing today? I got a few more of these hoodies. I'm not sure if the large, if the extra large and the medium large and extra large, they should be done. I ordered another batch of medium large and extra large. I do have triple XL in. I'm making deals on the triple XL just so I can get them out. I think I've got like 8 left or something like that. I had 13. So if you guys want a We Don't Stop hoodie sweatshirt, hit me up or go to the website deletelaws.com and you can get a We Don't Stop hoodie sweatshirt. And these are absolutely awesome. It's the best quality that you can possibly buy. I went downtown LA myself, sourced these hoodies. This is, I've washed this one a dozen times now. It's absolutely wonderful material, like thick, warm, you know, like I really took the time. I'm not going to sell you guys anything that's not quality. I just won't do it. My name's on it. I personally wrap them up in a ball, me or my assistant. So you're not going to get some piece of crap t-shirt from me. Don't order anything off of YouTube. Don't order anything from the Teespring store. I don't have control of that. Please don't order anything from that store. I'll get it shut down, but it's not done yet. So do not order anything from Teespring. Order it from deletelaws.com. Make sure you go to deletelaws.com with a Z. All right, listen, I got to get the flock out of here. Todd, good to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. These hoodies are badass. Yeah, Todd has a hoodie. These hoodies are badass. They really are. I'm super stoked that I took the time. And then the guy that I use for the silk screening, it's the best silk screen you can get on a shirt. It lasts for years and years and years. I mean, you know what I mean? I have a lot of pride into what I do. So I want you guys to, if you're going to sport my merch, which I only do hoodies once. Well, I did them once 2 years ago. Now I'm doing it the second time this time. But, yeah, so get your hoodie. Go to deletelaws.com. If you want a triple XL, you can order one off the website, or you can hit me up and say, hey, what's the best deal you can give me? I shipped off Bruce's hoodie yesterday or day before. So got that coming out to you, Bruce. And then Jungle is Massive. I think shipped off a hoodie to you as well. Anyway, listen, I better get the flock out of here. Kevin Brzezinski, what is going on, my friend? I shipped off your hoodie. Kevin, I sent you the tracking number for your hoodie. And then Basil, I think we're talking on email. Do it, Basil. Do it, brother. Appreciate you coming, man. Alan Hubbs is here. Good to see you, Alan. Always nice to see you, Matt. Chevy, always good to see you, my friend. I always look for you in the comments because, you know, I've been on YouTube for 2 years, almost exactly 2.5 years if you count my first 6 months where I just started a channel, but then I didn't ever really work on this channel until January of 2021. And now I've been here for 2 years, and Chevy's one of those folks who's been here since the beginning. Cope Doggy Dog, Sergeant Cope Dog. I don't see him in the room today. Greg, good to see you, my friend. Kyle, good to see you. Jeff, good to see you. Citizen Broad Cooperative, it's good to see you, man. Felicia, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I really do. Smoked Insane, always good to see you. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Austin, I know it. Mr. Anonymous, KT, good to see you. Brick, good to see you. Jim, good to see you. Yep. Hit me up on email, Basil, if you want a better deal. I'm trying to get rid of those triple XL. I don't want to keep sweatshirts in stock, hoodies in stock. All right, listen, I better get the flock out of here. If I didn't say your name, I love you anyway, man. We're all in it together. We all are in it together. You know, we all have to invoke our Fifth Amendment right. Everybody here has to invoke your Fifth Amendment right when you get pulled over by these jackboot thug pigs. So it's not like we're not all in it together. We are. We're just on a team now. And if you get pulled over and you film it, you send me that video. I want to see you use your trifold. I want to see you use your cop card. All right, I'll get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.